Hey everybody, it's Alex here, and on today's episode of the YaBonks Show, I have 4 very special guests with me today. I have Tahir, Bobby, Yassine, and Benita from the Alchemists. And the Alchemists is a community-based project that gives participants exposure to Bitcoin mining, gold mining, physical gold trading opportunities, and more, and also contributes to a number of charitable causes. So, Tahir, do you want to start and maybe give a brief introduction about yourself? And then Bobby, Yassine, and Benita, do you also want to introduce yourselves after Tahir?
Yeah, thank you very much, Alex. We appreciate your time for allowing us to be on the stage. I know you've put us through quite the ringer, right, before we could even get here. So kudos to you and to those who listen to you. I can definitely say Alex is very thorough in what he does and what he produces. To keep it short, my name is Tahir Smith, aka NFT baller in Web3. I am the lead dev of the Alchemists project, and I've got a little bit about myself. I love building things. I love creating products. I love being innovative. And also I love surrounding myself with people that encourage all of those things. And I've got quite a bit of years of experience, even though I might look young, right? Maybe the light is not shining right, but I've got quite a bit of experience in building projects, being successful and being unsuccessful. So we've cut our teeth. I've cut my teeth in quite a number of industries, and we've brought that experience. I believe I've brought that experience to the Alchemists ecosystem and project, being able to also build towards our strengths, ensuring that we've got the right people on board to be able to accomplish what we set out to achieve. So that's in a nutshell, Alex, a little bit about myself. I don't want to spend too much time on me, but that's short, long story short.
Great. And for the record, Tahir is being quite the trooper today and joining us in a power outage. So he has no power at his house right now, and he is doing this from his phone. So thanks for joining us in the dark.
Pleasure's mine, Alex. Pleasure's mine.
All right, Bobby, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Bobby. I'm from Holland. I live in a small town. It's called Vlissingen. It's really nice near the coast. I'm an IT guy. I work for a media company where I build software panels. And besides that, I'm responsible for the marketing and the Forex part of the Alchemist project. So I met Tahir a year ago, I think, almost already. Time moves fast. Yeah. And we had the same vision, and I could fill in some gaps that were needed to fill in for the Alchemists. So it was a good fit, and we think we're going the right way at the moment.
Very cool. And Yassine, what about you? Do you want to give yourself a brief introduction for the audience?
Sure. So my name is Yassine. I'm from South Africa. Myself and Tahir, we know each other way too long. He says he might look young. I say I might look old, but I'm a lot younger than him. We had a bit of a vision coming out to this area. We do come from the Web2 space, so we clashed our heads together and we looked at putting a fantastic business model together. But then with that comes fantastic business partners, and alhamdulillah, here we are. So I am the guy that sits down with the crayons and doodles and puts together all these little pictures. And I just want to take the opportunity to say thank you to all the love that was shown from phase 1. I really do appreciate it.
Very cool. And I will say your artwork on the NFTs is great. I really like it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Now, Benita, do you want to say hi to the audience and introduce yourself as well?
Good day. Good evening to the audience as well as our team. Thank you so much for having me. Mm-hmm. I'm Benita Veraki. A bit of background, I'm an economist, and I've come together into this basically on the mining and mineral side policy frameworks as well as on the governance side. What else do I say? I've also known Tayo for quite a while. And the reason for us coming in was to bring in projects on the mining side so that we could actually have some gold back currency, should I say, gold resources to back the digital currencies that they're looking at as well.
All right, great. So thanks for the introductions, everybody. Now, Tahir, do you want to give an elevator pitch for the audience about the Alchemists, what your project is all about, and kind of how it works, but from a bird's eye view?
Yeah, so I think James also said, from a bird's eye view, it's very fitting that our profile picture is an eagle.
That's true. Yeah.
So I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet once again. Our ecosystem is built on multiple revenue streams, right? So we've diversified our risks as an ecosystem, I believe, right? Not putting all our eggs in one basket. We utilize our expertise around from our team to be able to execute and make this possible, right? So those revenue streams obviously being the BTC mining component that we'll touch on, and we've partnered with there to take that revenue stream to the heights that we believe it can go. We've got the Forex trading sector that we've incorporated into the ecosystem, which we believe is quite the wild child. We'll touch on that as well because it can go up and down, but the ups far outweigh the downs. And when those rewards start saying hello, we can't wait to share that. We've got the altcoin side. It's a small portion of our ecosystem, right? But there could be bigger rewards waiting. If you back the right type of tokens, we've actually got a Web3 analyst that focuses on checking out these various tokens, these various Web3 protocols for us to say, listen, he actually guides us on where and when we should put our funds down for the altcoins. And every project that comes across our table looking for a collaboration, he actually checks it out first. So you won't see us collaborate with many projects because of the thorough research and that goes in from our team, from our core team. We've got it's Forex trading, Bitcoin mining. Then we've got the gold mine acquisitions, right? Which is a very exciting part of this project. I believe that this is one of the strongest medium to long-term plays for the ecosystem. And then we've got the gold trading aspect of it. We will give the options to actually physically trade gold from the mines up into the buyer's refinery. So we've diversified. I forgot to say, we've got the property development coming up as well for our phase 2. So these are all the early structures and revenue streams, basically, Alex, that we're setting up, right, to ensure that we exposed our holders, our ecosystem to these revenue streams. So if let's for example, one goes pear-shaped, we've got exposure to others to able to leverage that to fix the other one, right? And vice versa. But that is how this ecosystem is set up. And like you said, in an elevator pitch, I think I've kept it nice, short and sweet, but that's what the Alchemist ecosystem is about. It's about diversification into strong revenue streams that I believe and that we believe will set Web3 alight. It's just a matter of time.
And there's a lot going on there that you just that was the bird swooped down and looked at a lot of things. So if I am remembering you correctly, you've got Bitcoin mining, physical gold mining and trading, Forex trading, property development, altcoin investments.
Yeah.
And some other stuff as well. That's a lot going on.
Yeah. So, a lot of people thinks that that's a lot, but when you've got the right people at the helm, like I like to say, right, that mans those certain sections, and you make strategic partnerships. So this is how big businesses are actually built. They don't do everything in house. They actually outsource. They create those alliances. There's strategic partnerships happening throughout their growth. All right. So you're able to manage it rather than actually be head down where your head needs to be up, especially if you're looking to climb greater heights. Right. So on the Bitcoin mining sector, we've actually, as a project, as an ecosystem, right, we've had many options to purchase physical miners, right, and to host them in a facility in the USA. We've taken a look at, container options as well, but we've settled on what we believe is I wouldn't like to coin it here with this because it's a golden goose in the mining sector, right, in the crypto mining sector. I'm not sure if you've heard about the project called Alphashares, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm in talks with the founder. Actually, we've been talking for a while, and I might be doing an AMA with at some point just to dive into their whole operation because it's interesting. I
think you should. I'm in there deep, right? We in there deep. I've had multiple meetings with their team. What they're setting up, the deal structure, the political environment that they're in, how they've been able to nurture and develop that, right? The property that they're on. They've actually deployed the first round of funds to purchase the assets to bring it through. So it's very exciting. So we've taken advantage of that. It's actually a blessing, right? We don't want to be tied down with managing physical miners, worrying about the repairs, worrying about all of the stuff that will drive a man mad when you've got all these things, running and you need to ensure that the wheels are on. So again, we've made a strategic partnership with a Web3 team that's already delivering value to the community, right? That's number one, okay? They've put the cock on the block, excuse my description, right? To go up and take us through to Paraguay, okay? With electricity costs being 0.3 kilowatts an hour, okay?
It's crazy. Not only
that, we've got the antimony refining tying in with the Bitcoin mining. So this private sale, we've been able to tie in rewards not only based on Bitcoin mining, but also the antimony refining that they're going to be setting up, which is reserved for the private sale. So the Alchemists, right, have been blessed to be able to insert themselves into this build very early on from a Bitcoin mining perspective, right, that rewards are tied in with antimony refining. They'll be paid out most probably in wrapped Bitcoin, all right? We're working on it, how those rewards will be released, most probably on an L2 through Polygon, which just makes sense, all right? And we've latched onto them because we've realized, listen, this is our revenue stream, one of our revenue streams that we know we lock this down, we can scale with these guys, all right? We can scale, give everybody in our ecosystem exposure to this phenomenal growth. And we've gone an extra step because they are currently selling NFTs and they are American based, so they also got to be worried about all the securities, this, that, and the way that they've structured their project, right? It removes them from that risk. So we're actually talking about, and this is some alpha on your channel, Alex, is that we've actually structuring a business-to-business deal, right? Where we can secure ourselves, right? But we can't release too much of the detail for the security aspect of it, all right? But it's a business-to-business deal where we're able to, if they go tits up, if like people like to ask me, what about a black swan event, all right? It's exactly the same things that we ask when we're making these strategic partnerships, okay? And this has guided us to do a business-to-business deal because we want to scale. We've actually locked in an additional 120,000 US dollars, right, for our phase 2 to give our phase 2 and our ecosystem even more exposure to that build, right? So It's awesome. I'm super excited. I do plan to go down to Paraguay in the coming months when all this stuff is set up, so I can go touch, feel, kick, and network with physically with those founders, and we get along like white on rice. They've got the same vision. They know they want to deliver value. They don't want to take too much cream off the top. They want the value to come down because they know the winning is in the long term, not in the short term. So it fits in like a hand in glove on that aspect. So that's the Bitcoin mining aspect of it, Alex.
Cool, and that's exciting. 3 cents per kilowatt hour is unreal. I mean, that's about as good as it gets from people. I talk to a lot of different mining projects, as you can imagine, and 3 cents per kilowatt hour is right there with the best of the best that I've heard. I haven't heard anything cheaper than that, and most are actually 2 to 3 times the cost of that. And like in the bear market, so a lot of those a lot of the competitors are mining at a loss, where if you're at 3 cents, like you're good. If Bitcoin drops down to like 10,000, you're still good, I think.
We were going to go with another, like before we came across Alphashares and we had the interactions, right? Because we want to execute our milestones, not hold and say, guys, because of this, because of that, we needed to say, okay, we got to do this. We were going to go with the supplier that was going to host us for 7 cents a kilowatt. But we would have to cover.
That sounds like the standard, like business to business, like pretty. It's a great deal still. That's the funny thing. 7 cents is an amazing deal still. So 3 cents is just like mind blowing.
For Bitcoin miners, right? So if that price goes down and down, okay, now that funds need to come out of the project, okay, to cover those costs, and we were going to do that. Listen here, we were going to do that. No issue, because we want to deliver on our milestones and we want to stack BTC. That's it. Okay.
Still worth it. It's still worth it if you can afford to mine at a loss for a little bit.
Yeah, and stack BTC. But then came Alphashares, and us being let me not use the word dynamic, us being able to pivot. Okay.
Agile.
Yeah, that's a better word. And we thought opportunity because it maximizes our rewards for our ecosystem. And this is what we're going to continue doing, Alex, making sure that we get the best, right? And trying our best to protect the assets that we invest in as an ecosystem, and to ensure that it's locked down and we there's leverage, we can use it going forward, growing this ecosystem. There's a lot of things when it comes to leveraging assets, but let's not go into that too much right now. Then we've got the property development side. Can I touch on the property development?
So all right, before we dive any deeper, let's do you have any news or announcements that you want to make? I know you just dropped some alpha, but do you have any other news or announcements that are pertinent to anybody listening to this in the next week or so?
So yes, I wouldn't call it news, but we steamrolling with our phase 2. Okay, we got our whitelist open. Alex, I think I've shared the sheet with you. If I've not, I need to do it. We're going to be getting our guys on the whitelist. People that want to come into the ecosystem to mint through our phase 2. The whitelist is currently out, and our target is to mint in April, most probably at the end of April. What drives us there is the phases of our gold mine acquisition. And Alex, I know that part wasn't recorded, but you had the good fortune of actually talking to our brother Yakub, that is actually boots on the ground, and gave you a bit of background and insight in terms of what he's actually doing on the ground, where he's at with the drones, the topography, the electromagnetic, all that lovely, that excites me. You've had that pleasure. So that's what drives us, because he's moving quite swiftly on the ground to make sure we achieve what we want to achieve. And we need to ensure that our funds, right, follow that, to ensure that we can grow this ecosystem to actually be, and most probably will exceed our expectations, which is our hope. And that's why we've kind of tried not to overpromise, right? We've tried to just, like you, to show the value proposition, right? There's the value proposition. That's what we're building. Are you ready to get into this? So, any exciting news or announcements? I would say our phase 2 is where we are currently at. Our phase 1 is sold out. Our VIP passes are already, we sold that out as well, 310. I think they're trading over $1,000. We minted them for $50, right? The value's coming. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to move on to the other revenue streams too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited to jump into all of that as well. So the big news right now is the phase 2 mint is going on. The VIPs have sold out of phase 2 VIPs are done. And now we're on to phase 2 whitelisters. Is that right?
Yeah, so the mint is not live, okay? Phase 2's mint will go live, promise, probably at the end of April. Right now, we are building a whitelist, a whitelist wallet addresses, right? Because they will be minting at the discounted rate along with our VIPs, okay? There will be no more VIPs. VIPs was one round, okay? There will be no more VIPs added along in this ecosystem. We can be proud of the fact that we're only limiting this ecosystem to 5,000 NFTs, not 8,000, not 10,000, right? We're limiting it to 5,000 NFTs to create this value chain, okay, that is able to reward our holders that come, our early supporters in 5,000. So it's something to think on. Not to mention the fact what we've already accomplished in phase 1. What structures we've already put in place after minting out phase 1. I mean, it wasn't $1 million worth of raises, right? But we've laid the carpet. We've laid the carpet for $1 million bill.
Yeah, and so phase 1, how many NFTs were there in phase 1?
1,000 NFTs.
And how much did you raise from that 1,000?
Ooh, so you've already got the prices on here. These prices weren't released yet. Okay. So
what?
we raised about if I'm not mistaken, $300,000 in phase 1, right?
Wow, nice.
That's what we've raised, but we've utilized most of those funds, putting the structures that you see in place right now to ensure that we can level up, right? This is about leveling up. This is about laying the foundation. This is not about eating the cream off the top. So that's what we've done, and we're steamrolling into the next phase because we know what value comes, what is coming, all right? So we're moving, we're ensuring that we're showing the value, and yeah, our community is up to date in terms of where we are, in terms of what we've invested, in terms of what we've put together from the Forex line, from the Bitcoin mining aspect, from our holder rewards, from our student debt that we've already taken care of. It's on the milestones. Anyhow,
let's unfold this because I see you wanting to talk about everything all at once. So let's structure this a little bit so it's a little easier for somebody brand new to this. So the big news is you're gathering the whitelist for phase 2, and the whitelist will allow the phase 2 minters 24 hours to mint as many as they want if they're on the whitelist for 24 hours. Is that right?
That's right, yes.
Okay, and then after that 24 hours, the third round of minters is the public sale. It's a free-for-all, $400 per NFT at that point. And if you're on that whitelist, you save $20, and it's $380 per NFT if you're on the whitelist. And the public sale is $400, right?
Correct.
And there's a total of 2,000 in phase 2 being sold total?
That's right, yes.
How many have been sold in the VIPs and OG round?
VIP is their own NFT, right? So there's 310 VIPs sold. That's a pass. We've not opened up the mint for our VIPs and OGs, second minters and third minters. That will still take place. Yes.
I see. Okay. So even before the whitelist minting starts, there's going to be the first minters, which will be the VIPs and the OGs. They'll have 24 hours just by themselves to mint whatever they want. Then the whitelisters get 24 hours, and then it's a free-for-all for the public for whatever is left of those 2,000 round
NFTs.
To mint NFTs, right?
Yeah. And we just keep stacking the value. Yeah.
Perfect. And you said that starts when?
Most probably at the end of April. That's what we're looking at as is. Our gold mine acquisitions will guide us, right? To be very honest with you, the process on the ground will be guiding us. But right now, we've pegged it at the end of April to start with a phase 2 mint.
Got it. And your white paper, your updated white paper is very detailed. I like how you have filled in the roadmap here, saying what you've actually done. A lot of people just forget their roadmap in their white paper, and you don't really actually know where they are on things. So you put here in red what has already been done in the phase 1 stuff, and that's really helpful for me to find out what stage you guys are in. And you're approaching phase 2. And what was the date again? You said you're going with the gold mining progress, but could you give me a rough timeline again?
End of April. That's when we're looking to set phase 2 alight. End of April.
End of April. All right.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So
yeah, that's great. That is the news. And now for somebody brand new, what network does this take place on? If I wanted to get one of these, where do I mint it?
So we're on the Ethereum network, right, for minting. The tokens are traded in USDC, BUSD, and DAI. All of the others will be removed, right? We will have a credit card option. We've been working hard to try and get the credit card option available for our phase 2, right? We have had some challenges with the American-based credit card providers, okay? But we've potentially found a very good solution for phase 2, which we'll be activating. But the rewards, and this is the important part, because this is what I'm excited about. Besides building all of this value chain, right? The rewards will be paid out on an L2 on Polygon, so that it saves you gas fees. Okay, so it doesn't eat into your rewards that that are claimable. But we are based on the Ethereum network.
Okay, so just to understand, the minting is taking place on the Ethereum network in wrapped ETH, USDC, DAI, BUSD, and you're working on the credit card minting, and then the rewards will eventually be paid out on the Polygon network, right? Correct.
And obviously, we're going to have Alphashares guide us, right, in terms of their wrapped Bitcoin that they'll be paying out. But ideally, it will also be on an L2 because of gas fees. It's just it's good business.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I can't stand Ethereum. It's even now with proof of stake, it's still too expensive for my blood. I'll get there where I'll be like $10 transaction fee, no big deal. But I'm like, oh, it hurts. Every time.
And this mint page that you're seeing is going to look totally different. This was just our phase 1 mint page. Our mint page for our phase 2 is going to be totally different.
Okay, cool. And if anybody wants to see where all this is, it's Alchemists with an plural, Alchemists NFT.com, alchemistsnft.com, and the mint button is right here. The white paper is here, and then you can get in on the Discord. It's discord.gg/alchemistsnft, same URL as the website. So yeah, and you guys have a big team, and we'll jump into who everybody is in a little bit and what roles they have. There you are. We got Yassine on camera. We got Benita and Bobby. Here you go. Here's Bobby. And yeah. So that's all very cool. Like I said, you have so much going on that I want to unpack this in a way that doesn't overwhelm a new listener. So
Yeah.
we can mint on Ethereum, we get paid out on Polygon, and that's going to be mint phase 2 around the end of this month, which is April 2023. Do you have a target for how much capital you are trying to raise through all of the mints for your business plan, for what you're trying to achieve here? Do you have a target goal?
Yes, we do. I mean, it can be clearly seen in the breakdown where you're at right now. Those are the target goals, right? Obviously, just under is fine because we've compensated for the VIPs and our OGs, right? But that's there. That's the target from where we're looking to get from our mint, Alex.
Okay, and do you have a number? So, like phase 3, that's what, 900,000, and you said phase 1 was like 280, and then phase 2.
We'd be happy with phase 2, $780,000. That is the sweet spot for us to be able to achieve what we want to achieve and the value that we want to bring in phase 2. All right. I don't like to focus too much on phase 3 because those numbers can change. It all depends in terms of what the costs are of what we would of what is in our roadmap for phase 3. This is the business, right? Things don't remain the same. You need to be dynamic. So, but we'll get for phase 2. We know a good number would be between 700 and 800,000 to make sure the value that we're looking to add into this is possible.
Yeah. And I did the numbers, I did the math real quick, and not taking in to account discounts for VIPs and whitelists, you're shooting for about $2 million total raise for all 3 mints, and that will allow you to achieve your roadmap here. Now, do you have a minimum, like that you have to hit to get this thing bootstrapped and off the ground?
Yeah, so I think again, we do have a minimum, right? I don't like to focus too much on the minimum, but yes, we do have a minimum.
Set your goals high.
We know we know where we want to be. Our goals are set. It is there, but the focus shouldn't be there because the process that we have built this ecosystem and how we've done in phase 1 is that we deliver the value. So when the funds come in, we don't sit on it like a goose waiting for the eggs to hatch, right? We work.
I got my goose right there. Yeah.
We put it to work, Alex. So the value will come. People will see the value. Most probably 9 out of 10, our VIPs will be getting their reward payout from our Forex trading aspects already, right? By the end of phase 2, touch wood, right? We are pushing quite hard to develop to deliver that value early on, and we don't want to recycle. We look at the Ponzonomics of I don't want to touch on that word, but other ecosystems where you can use funds to pay you take from Peter to pay Paul, right? We don't want to do that because there's no need for that. What we're doing, we're creating value, we're creating profit, so it doesn't eat and sag off the ecosystem, okay? And the VIPs, they're patiently waiting. They'll be the first ones to taste the honey from our Forex trading, and we are hard at work on that. So I don't, as much you ask, what is the minimum? We have a minimum, but that's not the focus because we're bringing the value. So when the value is shown and the value is there, right, and it's apparent, especially with the legal structures. I haven't even touched on that, but I will get there. The legal structures that we're going to be putting in place here to give a sense of, I don't want to use the word. Gary's probably checking, where's this guy from? So to give a sense of confidence, right, from our community to our community. There's a lot of rewards waiting for early supporters because I know as me being part of other projects, other ecosystems in the early days when I was in NFTs, right? when you're an early supporter, you're thinking, I need to be rewarded a little bit more, don't I? But it was just obviously, and that's what we're gearing up for. We know the reason for our approach with the legal structure. We know what that attracts, right? Firstly, when you've got the legal structures in place, and especially what we're building and the value that we're adding to this, right? Just get in early, right? We're doing the hard work, we're showing the value. That's all I can say. I don't want to go too much into that because I know where we're headed. I know what our objectives are, and I know what value we want to drive to our early supporters.
Yeah, my question is just, is there a minimum that you have to hit for this thing to be viable? And if you don't hit it, you have to like refund everybody. Or have you already hit that point with your phase one?
Phase one, mate, milestones are done.
So no matter what, you guys are already good. You're chugging along, and anything on top of this, phase two and phase three, just scales this thing. Is that right?
Scales. Yes, everything in that phase one there we've achieved, right? We've ticked it, and that's been our objective. And again, for phase two, our same attitude, right? If not more coming in, right? Tick that off, achieve those objectives, show the value early on, right? And by doing that, investing into your community, making sure that they are the ones that reap the rewards and see and understand the rewards, mate. That's all I can say from, we're delivering. And I can proudly say that. When we sat on AMAs 3 months ago, we were talking about the vision, right? We're sitting on an AMA with you here now, Alex. We're talking about what we've delivered as part of that vision. And that, I believe, is powerful.
And I am glad you came to me when you had something to show already, because otherwise, the questioning there's always pie in the sky and, oh, we're going to do this and, talk is cheap and all that. But it's good that you guys have shown that you've already, you have results for your phase one. You've done what you said you were going to do. I watched your AMAs from 2 or 3 months ago, and I saw some of the feedback like, oh, they're trying to do too much. Oh, they're this or they're that. And you guys have come out swinging, and, you hit back with some results, and that's really great to see. Makes me happy, makes my job easier to just point people in this direction to say, look what they've done on their first phase one mint. Now this is their phase two, and I'm going to assume you're going to execute with the the same level for phase two and three as you did with phase one.
Quickly execute. We want to put things into place quickly. We want to get the structures in place quickly so we can get to work. Because I wish you were a fly on the wall sometimes, right? But the value that our community, our early supporters stand to gain is in my belief, it's apparent because we've shown what we've done in phase one. It's only a matter of time till all the pieces align, right? And the rest is going to be history. We're not out here to compete with anybody. We're here to deliver value. Our product will speak, as Benita rightfully said, when we came on earlier, that our product will speak for itself. The value will show, right? There's no need. We're not worried about competition. Yeah, we build.
And Yassine is back with us now. So, all right, well said. You got you're very eloquent speaker, and you've got a lot of positive sentiment, and that's good. As a leader, you need to be bullheaded positivity and faith that you're going to accomplish your goal, right? So I love that attitude in a leader, and I am here to kind of try to catch you off guard with your business plan and what you're working on, right? So that way we can get, because you're all about value proposition and I'm all about risk reward. So that way that value proposition, we can kind of balance that with what risks we're taking on here. Now, you said these will actually start paying out in terms of the Forex trading about the time that phase two minting ends. How long is the phase two mint going to last?
So, I don't have a crystal ball, Alex, I wish I did. I could tell you that exactly how long phase 2 would last. When I touched on the Forex aspect of it, it's for our VIPs, for our VIP wallet. It's for our VIPs because the founding father NFTs have a 6-month compound, right? So we're going to be developing the community wallet, ensuring that we're ready for them after 6 months. And I believe that we will be more than ready when the time comes for the founding fathers, right? For our VIPs, once there are a decent amount of rewards, we're going to be releasing that to our VIPs. We have accumulated some rewards, but not enough. I'm not happy with it. Bobby is definitely not happy with it. So we anticipate, during, if phase 2 lasts for 2 weeks, right? That's in around that time we anticipate for our VIPs as things stand. We could do it earlier, but it's going to be nothing to write home about. And at the same time, I like to remind everybody that we are only 2 months old since our mint, okay? But the way that we've structured, we can give early value to our VIPs.
So, okay, your project is 2 months old. So the first round of minting happened 2 months ago, and you're saying the general public that has these NFTs should start seeing rewards that they can claim on Polygon from your app in about 6 months from that phase 1?
Yeah.
Okay, so about 4 more months, and then the phase 1 minters will start seeing rewards. Is it going to be airdropped to those holders, or do they have to claim it manually?
They need to claim it manually. The reason that we put it in there like that is just in case we need to pivot again for legal reasons. Okay, we need to pivot. We need to put in something there. I've given us that room to play with to ensure if we met with the whoever, old Gary with his meme glasses, which I doubt because he doesn't come play in our neck of the woods. But in any case, we've got to consider our community. Then we've got mechanisms in place we can install. But we'll touch on that a little bit later, Alex, when we get there to where we're thinking, what is our overall vision and what we'd like to see our holders actually hold and of tangible value that they can pass down for to the next generation and think of. We'll show you that. We'll touch on it.
Awesome. And this is to give the audience a quick, practical nuts and bolts. How's this going to work from their perspective? They buy this NFT. When is it going to start doing things? Now, for phase 2, will that also be about 4 months from now for those payouts, or will that be 6 months from when phase 2?
6 months compound when phase 2, and we can do that because of our Forex structure, right? We don't have to wait till our 5,000 NFTs are sold out and then take all those funds, then invest, then accumulate, then compound, then take 6 months, right? Because of our structure, we are able to do that. So each phase will have its, because we're allocating Forex funds towards certain phases. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay. Yeah. So then if this minting happens in end of April or so, May, then we can see payouts for phase 2. If I were to get one of these, probably in September, October time.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Great.
And listen, but what's the word that I'm looking for? We rogues, right? So anything can happen. It all depends how much rewards Bobby and team and co from our trading office is able to accumulate. But we rogues. If we can do it early, we do it early. But right now, 6 months is the mark, right, for each phase.
All right, great. So yeah, that's I think I have a good understanding now of how to play this game. If I get one of these phase 2 NFTs, then I have about 6 months. So September and October, I'll be logging into your app and claiming on Polygon my rewards that will be generated from your myriad of revenue streams. Now, one thing that I want to ask you is, I heard somebody have the critique of your business plan saying, oh, they aren't focused enough. They're spread too thin on all of these different revenue streams. However, I think, in my opinion, that seems to me like a diversification strategy. What is your opinion on that?
Alex, I think I touched on that earlier, that we've got the right people behind the revenue streams. We make strategic partners where we need to, okay? For example, the Bitcoin mining. There's a strategic partnership that's being made. Project development, we'll touch on that, but there's a strategic partnership being made, all right? Our Forex team, we've got 4 Forex traders, all right? Trading, okay? That's what they do. The gold mine acquisitions. You had the pleasure of chatting to Brother Yakub, and we've got Benita here from Quindo Global as part of our core team, right? Managing and taking care of the gold mining infrastructures and the gold mine blueprint and rollout. So I think that there answers it for itself, and we'll definitely expand more. I see more avenues. I see more opportunity. But when they say we're not focused, we're focused on first getting this infrastructures ready, prepared, so that we can scale. So that's my rebuttal to that, Alex.
Okay, so you have partners that specialize in each of these areas that you let them focus on what they do best, but you've partnered with them to allow you to diversify your revenue funnels for this project, basically. So you don't have to be the best at each thing because you partnered with some of the some experts in those areas, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to Forex trade, mate. Ask Bobby. Bobby will send me charts to say, explain it to me.
All right. So Bobby, that's a perfect segue. Bobby, if I understand this correctly, you are the main Forex trader for the project?
Well, I'm not the main trader, but I'm the one who oversees all the traders. I do trade myself some of the accounts. I've been trading for the last almost 3 years, I think. It's going pretty well, but our main trader is TK. I'm not really sure how to pronounce his real name, so I'll call him TK. Maybe Tahir can try to pronounce it for us.
Tinico.
Right.
Okay.
So he's our main trader, and I work very closely with him every day to manage our Forex accounts, and we plan our trades together. We have just recently added a new trader. His name is Momo. We have a trader from Holland also, which I introduced to the Alchemist. I know him personally. His name is Emil. And together we as a team, we trade all the Forex accounts that we have. So including the community accounts, the VIP accounts, the private whale accounts for our biggest whales, and the OG accounts. Abdullah is also one of our best traders that we have. So Abdullah is also responsible for a couple of the accounts that we have.
Okay. So you manage multiple accounts, and I noticed in doing my research, if you buy a certain amount of NFTs, then you get your own account managed by the team, and then there is prop firms. So with the prop firms, do you want to explain that, what a prop firm is and how you guys are using them in this protocol?
Yeah, sure. Well, to easily said, a prop firm is kind of is like a lending company. So they have a big capital which they use to find good traders in the market. So what you can do is you can pay an initial fee for a verification account. So let's say you pay $1,000, and then you can do a verification for a $200,000 account. If you pass the first phase, you advance to the second phase. If you pass the second phase, you have proven yourself to the prop firm that you are worthy of trading with their capital, and they will fund you an account with their capital from the 200K or another amount that you have chosen to do the verification for. And then when you have the live account with the 200K on it, when you trade, the profits that you make on that account, you can do a payout. It depends on the prop firm, by 2 weeks or by the month. And when you do a payout, you pay a 20% profit split to the prop firm for in fact lending their money, using their money to trade, and the other 80% you get as a trader.
Wow. What kind of risk is there in using a prop firm's capital to trade with? If things went terribly wrong, what's the worst that could happen?
The prop firms do have a certain amount of rules that you need to follow. So there are risk management rules. For example, some have a maximum daily drawdown limit. Most of the time, there's also a maximum drawdown limit. So to give an example, some have a 5% daily drawdown. So if you go below that on a daily basis within the same 24 hours, your account will get terminated. You will have breached the rule, and then you'll have to start over again. So yeah, the only risk for you as a trader actually is the initial fee that you pay for the verification account. So if you don't make it, you'll have to do it again. But with a lot of prop firms, you'll also get a discount if you want to reset your account.
And I need to add on to that, Alex, is that we also very well diversified in terms of the prop firms that we work with. So we don't only work with one prop firm. We've got multiple. Again, we spread. Even on that revenue stream, we are spread to make sure that if things go tits up on the one, right, we've got others.
That is the technical term for it. Yes. So, well, I love diversification. That's great that you're diversifying your diversified strategies, right? Like you can always diversify more, and I'm even diversified in like my stable coin holdings. I'm not just in BUSD or USDC or DAI or USDT. I'm in all of them, right? I'm diversified even then. And then I'm also not just on one network. I'm not just on Ethereum or BSC or Avalanche or Polygon. I'm on all of them spread out. So in case something crazy goes wrong that I didn't see coming, I'm not completely wiped out. I can keep playing the game. So no, I think your strategy with diversifying even on your prop firms, I think that's smart.
Yep, I agree with you.
So with your Forex trading team, how are they performing on average? And what kind of rewards can an NFT holder expect just from the Forex trading side of things?
Yeah, so right now, the Forex markets, and I'm sure the general, if you've got any Forex guys listening, the markets have been rough, right? The most important part and what our guys are doing right is protecting the capital, right? We are in small profits. Again, I'm not too chuffed because we want to bring these rewards to our holders, right? But they've been performing as we would like in terms of protecting the capital. So we don't lose our initial investments, right? We still set us up. We give us time to ensure that we can trade when the markets turn profitable. We're there to milk the cow. So in that aspect, Alex, I'm personally from leading the team from the lead devs perspective, I'm happy that they protected the capital, right? So in terms of rewards, we expect in and around. So I'm not sure, but we haven't even touched on this. Is we've partnered with Forex Library, right? They will be teaching Bobby. Bobby knows them personally, right? They've got offices in the Netherlands. They manage liquid capital, approximately $5 million under their portfolio that they actually trade for their clients. We've partnered with them. They're going to be showing us their strategy. It's a prop farming mechanism, right? Or strategy or product, not strategy, product that they utilize, and they've been very, very profitable for quite some time. And they've been kind enough to share their product with us, and they've clearly said this is not a product they sell because they don't need to sell it; they're making money. But because of the relationship that Bobby holds with them, right, they are allowing us in. We actually held an AMA live with them in our Discord. It's recorded, and in our AMA recording section to introduce them to the community. So our community knows our developments, our strategic partnerships that we are making along the way. In and around that, we're looking, if things go well, we're looking at a 3%, right, overall per month, okay, which will take us to about $45,000 on average, right? I must say average. Some months can be down. Next month you make 6%, right? Next month you might. So on average, we're looking at a 3% overall reward system, okay? And with a prop firm farming strategy, we're looking in a quarter, so in 4 months, right, to make about $80,000 in the 4 months. Correct me if those figures are incorrect, but that's currently what what Forex Library, have the results they've achieved over a couple of months. So we're excited. Bobby's already been to the offices a few times. They're letting him in onto the product. They're teaching him what they need to teach him. And there's a value exchange, So we're excited. We don't stop, where we see, listen, there's challenges in the market. How do we unplug that? And we're showing it. We're trying to show it at least. And I think the end result, what matters to our community is a result, So those results will come. We just need a bit of time. But overall, I'm very proud to say that our boys have been protecting the capital, and it allows us to breathe every month. Every month is an opportunity for us to make money and allow us to bring that in the ecosystem. So in a nutshell, that's where, was there another part that in terms of the forecast, Alex, we want to, like I've mentioned to you, that 3% is what we target. We don't want to overshoot it because it's the markets can be choppy, but it's also very highly rewarding when you've got disciplined traders that know they know their game. They've been in the game longer. They've been in it quite a while. So we're happy overall, and we're looking to achieve our targets. It's very possible.
Okay, and that's all super interesting to me, by the way. I would love to pick your brains about that more later, after this AMA. And just to that 3% that you're projecting conservatively per month, this is the breakdown that I'm looking at of where that 3% of profit goes, right? It goes to...
Were you breaking it down?
This is on the white paper on the Forex trading page. So 30% approximately goes to the community wallet, 33.3% goes to the holders, 33.3% goes to the project's development, and 3% goes to the tier system wallet, right? Yes. All right. And okay, so let me just clarify and verify a few things to make sure I have an understanding of this. So it says after the phase 1 mint, you guys have $3.55 million of capital to trade with from these prop firms. So if I'm understanding correctly, if you raise 280,000 approximately from phase 1, you're doing over 10x leverage in terms of the prop firm trading, right?
Yeah, it's a no-brainer. That's right, Alex.
Yeah,
I like the way you looked at that. That's right, and we're going to scale it, but right now that's manageable. As you've heard, we're scaling our trading team to be able to take on more capital, right, for us to trade. But we're also very cautious with who we take on. But yeah, so very good point you've made there. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
I always like to try to identify what parts of a business plan are leveraged and what the leverage risk is there. So that's interesting, and that's how you're able to get what I consider a really great return per month. 3% per month is what, 36% per year ROI, APR, I should say, not compounding or anything like that. So like 36% is a fantastic year in the stock market that, which averages 10% if you're looking at the S&P 500 here in the States. So that's a fantastic return even on your conservative estimates. And I'm trying to get in on that. So teach me.
Talking about that, Bobby, I've mentioned it the last time on another AMA that we had. Please activate our Forex trading classes and schedule it in. I want our guys to start. I want the members that are hungry to learn how to Forex trade, because we've got the classes ready that we will be giving, Alex. to people that want to learn how to Forex trade.
Absolutely.
So, Bobby, I echo it once again. Please activate the dates and time and set it up with our Forex traders and TK especially to put those classes together, my friend.
Sir, yes, sir.
Thank you.
And yeah, cool. And you're using you have a partnership with Forex Library, which is a prop firm farming organization.
No, they're not. They're not. Sorry, Alex. They're not a prop firm farming organization. They're a capital management firm. But guys don't sit on their hands. They develop products. They create strategies right outside of their core business. And this is outside of their core business. But the track record was obviously, this is the amount of capital these boys manage. These are the results that they've currently made with the prop firm farming method. And they're sharing it with us. But then that's not their core business. They're a capital management firm.
I've actually, these are actually the guys that have taught me how to trade Forex. Because 2 or almost 3 years ago, I've met them for the first time. And they are also educating people to learn how to trade Forex. And that's also how I got in contact with them. And like 3 years later, it means a very good connection for us and nice opportunities for our project as well. So that's very nice.
Awesome. And the big question, I guess, that the communities like to throw in these situations is if they're getting such great returns on their Forex trading, why do they need you? What do you bring to the table? Am I understanding that what you're bringing to the table are the prop firm partnerships, or what are you guys bringing to the table for them to make it worthwhile for them to do this?
For who's this? Forex Library?
Yeah, Forex Library. If they're killing it, trading and everything, why do they need you guys? You know,
they don't need us. They don't need us. That's purely based on the relationship, Alex. And Bobby, you answer that question, my friend.
Well, I've actually rented an office space in their office building for the past 1.5 years as well. So I was in very close contact with the owners of the CEOs of the company and the other owners, the shareholders and the other traders in the company as well. So we in the past time we've created a very good connection between us. The office is actually 10 minutes from my home, so I come there very often. I've been there today as well, for a matter of fact, for my next lessons for the prop farming strategy. So yeah, it's purely based on personal relationships that they are willing to help us and create this opportunity for us to grow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's lucky, right?
Yeah.
Your network is your net worth, as they say. And that's one of my greatest values out here is I have an awesome Web3 network, right? If you want to meet anybody, I most likely know them, right? And I just think it's so cool. Like in 1 year, I've been able to meet so many amazing people. And so I can echo what you're saying with how important those personal connections are, how they cross over into the business world. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the Forex trading breakdown. If you guys want to learn more, check out their other AMAs in their Discord, where they had an AMA with Forex Library, and you can learn all about that. And then they're also going to be holding workshops to teach you how to Forex trade like they do. So that's great. Now I want to jump into the gold stuff. All right, I love gold. I know you guys do as well. I have a kind of almost real fake gold necklace, gold-plated necklace. But I think gold's great, especially in 2023 and going forward with the central banks and the International Monetary Fund and the whole monetary system, which has been inflating currency supplies, with the world reserve currency being the dollar, which is inflating like crazy. So people are looking for safe haven assets that can protect them from this inflation. And you guys are taking a big stance on that with your business model. Not only do you have gold trading, but you also have, a physical gold mine that you are exploring and potentially buying. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll allow the expert to come in on that, Alex. I don't have to say a single word about it. Benita, if you are there.
Yes, hi there. Okay, good evening, everyone. All right, from the gold trading point of view, yes, we are currently acquiring, or we've acquired a claim. We are in stage 1. Should I just do a quick brief summary of where we are on that?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
that would be great. If you could just give us like an overview of the gold side of the business and what makes you guys why you guys are, you know, special in this regard. What's your competitive advantage here, and what are we looking at?
Okay, so from a background point of view, I think in the brief introduction, I didn't give too much of clarity of what the relationships are. Basically, I belong, you know, as you've just said, right now, you're as strong as your network. So I belong in a group of companies, and we are a professional service, but mainly owners of, capital resources in the mining sector. So we cross over from coal mining, manganese, chrome, gold, diamonds, etc. So that is the background. I've worked with Tyre previously, obviously in various entrepreneurial programs and projects, and mining being one of them. And that's where we decided to come together and bring some parity and value into this, seeing again what is going on geopolitically as well as economically. Our, you know, current currencies are losing value so quickly that we need it backed by gold. And this is where this idea was born, that instead of just, you know, going into an organization or creating this kind of environment, why don't we then bring this crypto environment and link it up into something tangible where we back it by gold? So this is where the whole idea was born. And then we started looking at lucrative claims that could be purchased. The idea was to get something on the African continent, because obviously most of the gold comes off the African continent, and then it is exported, and then you have it, what should we say? When they, what is the correct word?
Refined.
Where it is then redefined and processed and comes back to be resold. So we wanted to actually add that kind of value here. And we looked at, you know, gold backed by example, USDC digital currency. And I think this is where the idea was born. So the claim that we have bought due to confidentiality clauses, I will not actually define the actual geographic area, but you're aware of it as well. We now in stage 1, at the closing end of stage 1, moving into stage 2. So from that point of view, we needed to establish roads to give us access onto the claims which have been done. We've gone into the geomagnetic and the topographic survey, which currently is at the closing end, and we should have results very, very soon. So basically, the geomagnetic survey will allow us to identify the mineral sulfides underground deposits by measuring the anomalies electrically from the air. So we're using drones to do this, basically. What else should I say? From a mapping point of view, we've mapped out all of the surface details, areas, etc., the lay of the land, which will show us the contouring of the land, which ranges from about 1 meter to 5 meter intervals. And this will be used for the string of work application that we need to do. And these are like requirements by law that we need to conform to in terms of our health and safety, in terms of the ISOs, all of that we've basically ticked the boxes of all of that. We've also gone into I wouldn't say the main drilling, but we've started drilling, so that from there it makes the trenching easier as well. I know usually it's done the other way, where they would do trenching and then gone into core drilling, etc. But I was saying to Tyre yesterday as well, the area that we're in is so unique that certain areas are known that where you can walk on the land and, I'm looking at not gold now, but diamonds, and people have kicked in certain areas and they found product, etc. So from a history point of view, I come with approximately 40 years behind me within our group. And as we said, we are strong as the network, and also in terms of diversifying into so many areas that we are within the Alchemist, it is because we employ experts to do this as well. And this is exactly what we have here with the gold mining project. I'm not going to go too much into stage 2, but briefly, stage 2 is where we are going to actually be doing the geophysical work, the geomapping, sampling, assays, etc. that will take place. And this geomagnetic data will be used for our target areas. And obviously, then the main drilling, if there's a need from the trenching, if the trenching can show us what is in the seams, because we are in an area that is known. I don't know, Tyre, whether I can mention it, but the green belt is actually known to have, adequate product in its seams, etc. And not only that, the value comes in where when we start mining, if we do that, or if we decide to on-sell, or if we decide to trade this on a platform, this is all that brings value propositions to our investors here as well. I think from risk managing this as well, we could have chosen other areas where it would be, the investments would be way higher and there would be less of a way of evaluating the risk. But again, we have the experts to do this, and we have been mining in the area. We've had the results in terms of, what the yield of the ground is. So we have more or less an idea of what that should be. I don't know whether I'm talking too much or this is enough for you.
This is fantastic. I love this stuff. I am fascinated by the gold mining industry, and I know it's fraught with controversy, and I have watched so many documentaries about the gold mining stuff going on in Africa, and all of the, I've seen the people that are doing it correctly and the people that are doing it incorrectly. And incorrectly, I mean, human rights abuses, environmental contamination, or like the use of mercury to, spot refine it, to people just using their bare hands with mercury to get the little gold nuggets out of the ore. So
we moved away from
following, that. Are you guys following any like standards or anything like that would be pertinent for us to know?
Absolutely, Alex. And also it's very important for us to, again, look at what the environmental clauses are. And they're very strict on that, etc. So we would come into that, into our stage 3, where we'd have to sign up, because that's where the actual mining will take place. But like I said, we have the options before we actually, once the geomagnetic results come out, we can actually decide from that whether we want to sell that or we want to mine, etc. And then obviously we'll have all the licenses in place. But you've spoken to other people today prior to this, and these are experts that have already sat in these government offices on the administrative sides, and we've already started getting the paperwork in place for all of that. So that's not a problem. Also, from a corporate social responsibility point of view, we're not into child labor and all of that. We are also not into mechanization on an extreme level, because Africa is a continent where employment creation is necessary. We also have, more than 30% youth that are available, and a lot of them unemployed. So we are looking at creating all of that. And then we also want to create within the community part of the corporate social responsibility, for those from a labor point of view, if they are working on our mines, then we want to provide a facility, because a lot of this is a decentralized area, where we can have schools for the children, we can have facilities to teach women other skills, etc., and empower even with the aged, with the youth, And I think youth for the continent on the whole, skills training and development is very, very imperative. And we've already been, I've been personally involved with the CETAs to establish in these different areas where we can create the value for upskilling, etc. And that's what it is. We don't want beneficiation to go out of the continent anymore, because we've said earlier as well, the continent has everything, and we can manage this entire chain on the continent instead of it going out, having the exploitation. And we can even create value in terms of offering certain percentages for those communities that are there that benefit from this as well. So I think from the point of view of ensuring that we are within the regulations and the governance and things like that, yes, we looked at that, and we will abide by all of that, because ethics are very, very important to us as well, be it personal ethics, business ethics, whatever it may be. From the community point of view, we will ensure that the yield will be what it is. And we're not only looking at gold. For instance, when you go down the seams, you get graphite first, then we will ensure that gets sold. And then obviously profits go into this chain, be it silver, be it copper. All of that will go into that chain as well. And then I think also from the community point of view, the shift now is, the move is to move into a digital currency that's backed by gold. So we want to ensure as well that, I don't know, the technical terms, maybe Tyre can come in and help me, but from putting a policy in place where we have this kind of coins. We were looking at like creating molds where we can mint our own coins and we can hold this against that, as well as on the gold trade side as well, where they get some, not some, but they get a real value out of that, where product gets sold and then obviously profits go back into this. We also have backings from our larger group, that the Quindo group, asset management company as well. So if we have, for instance, while capital is being raised, but we need expansion on the mines, etc., we have the capacity to do that also.
All right. Benita, I just want to double check the Quindo global investments operation and everything tied to the Alchemists NFTs. That is all child labor and slave labor free, correct?
Absolutely.
All right, great.
Our whole idea is, in terms of corporate social initiatives, is to take Africa, South Africa, and the rest of the continent. For instance, South Africa is 82% illiteracy right now, and we want to move them out of that. And we're doing that purely through the further education and training systems, through your sector employment training authorities. But we need to make it relative to what is out there. And I've said to Tyre as well, part of Alchemist skills training and development is very, very important to grow what we're doing as well. And also to bring the communities into it, to get them involved into it, because you can't only be wanting to make money, spiritually we say the more you give, the more you get as well. So that's the whole idea we live by here as well.
Awesome. And I think it's so important that you keep the work and the economic benefits from mining these elements out of the land, that you keep those benefits going back to the people that live and work there, and giving those opportunities to them wherever you can, instead of outsourcing it overseas and then bringing it back to sell it, like you were saying. So you are providing job opportunities for the local communities there. Is that right?
Yes, because we have, you look at the youth, we have more than 30% of the continent that are youth currently as well. So you have them trained. Your youth is one of your strongest resources as well. So why do we need to import it? Why do we need to be heavily mechanized as well when we can empower in this way?
Yeah. And I know there are a lot of smaller gold mining operations that do profit sharing or like independent contracting where workers can come and split whatever they find 50-50 with the mine owner. Do you employ some kind of system like that for people who want to work that way?
Okay, so on that side as well, I believe that the land belongs to the people. So what we do at most times is we work with the people. You cannot also, people complain about abuses in the system, etc. It's because you're taking away from them what is their resources as well. So we are very equitable in terms of sharing that as well. Okay. So we may do it in different ways as well. Sometimes you get the small scale miners, they would come to you for support, etc. So we are in favor of amalgamating them to create avenues for product, etc., to empower them, etc., and to create whatever requirements they may have to further their production.
Okay, so Quindo Global, it sounds like you have quite a few mining operations under that umbrella. Is that right?
We're a group of companies, and yes, they do have, with various ores. It's not only gold, it's various ores. Quindo Global Investment Group basically started out as the marketing arm, but we are now very, very involved in the operations. As you would have seen from your due diligence, the company is 9 years old.
Correct. I did see that. I saw that the company is registered in South Africa, 9 years old, like you said. And I've also seen some of the other companies you're involved with, including nonprofits that help women in the area and other things like that. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we are part of the NPOs, etc., and we are very much into food security as well, because I think these are the key areas to sustain humanity.
Awesome. I love that. That all sounds good to me. And is there anything else with the gold mines about the standards that you use or anything that you think people getting involved with the Alchemists would want to know?
I think I'll leave that to Tyler, but what I would want to say is that, because I'm not sure in terms of disclosure how much I'm allowed to right now, but I think the stages of development that we are in with the current claim, we've now on completion of stage 1, we're moving into stage 2. And I think, if we're talking about what the value propositions are, what the risk and rewards are, it's clear, you cannot get any more value proposition or any higher value proposition than you would get from the gold trade. Because right now, where we are standing in terms of, I'll say it again, geopolitics as well as the global economies, all you need is your gold or any tangible currency, be it silver, gold, whatever it may be, to back up what you have. Because I don't think as an economist that, the piece of paper you have is going to hold water much longer.
Wait, this piece of paper? No, I'm just kidding. I totally agree. I that is why I am into Bitcoin and decentralized finance. Bitcoin especially because of the 21 million limited supply and how those tokenomics work. I think Bitcoin's kind of like the shiny new age gold, but really there is still no replacement for gold. I actually do have a gold coin that I carry with me here in my necklace. I believe in gold as a store of value. I even have a piece of bullion wrapped around my wedding band here just for good luck. And also, this is about worth a tank of gas. If I were ever stranded somewhere and I just had my wedding ring, I could trade somebody for a tank of gas with this.
Yeah, but again,
even
Alex, this is a
Yeah.
digital asset that you're talking about. I mean,
Mhm.
you're attaching the tangibility to it. And
Right.
you know that there's a yield that comes from that like no other as well.
Well,
you
yeah,
know.
you can leverage
So,
that.
so
and-
you know,
yeah.
I don't want to go into that dimension because then I'll be going into the financial side of what
Yeah.
this can do. But you know what I'm talking about here as well. So,
Oh, yeah.
so you know exactly. So that's another idea for us. I mean, as part of our on the gold side, as a long-term plan as well. Of course, we would want to mint coins. Of course, we would want to offer them, the community, the coins together with what they have currently as well, so that they can look at it from a capital asset point of view, and they would find that the returns will flow that much faster. And I believe that this is going on currently as well. Again, technically, I wouldn't know the terms, but definitely, you have that happening. They, whether it's multiple sale farms or whatever you want to call it, that's what's going on right now.
Okay, Benita, how can we verify that the gold exists, the mine exists? That's something the community asks a lot, is how can we verify this stuff actually exists, especially if all of it's kind of private, non-disclosure type information?
Okay, so again, I think I need to get consensus with the group because I've not yet discussed this with Tyre and company. But from my point of view, what we would do is, remember, stage 1 is pre-feasibility. Then stage 2 is actual feasibility. Once we have feasibility, then we will look at getting the results from the geotech on the life of the mine, the discounted cash flows, the net present value, all of that. Once we have all of that, once we have all of our mining licenses, the water license, the health and welfare licenses, as well as everything else, I'm not sure, the EIA in place, all of that, then if there is agreement within the group to open it up and disclose, I'm sure we can, Tahir. What is your thinking?
Yeah, at the same time, Alex, we are getting audited, so we're going to be looking at a legal way to, without disclosing too much upfront, right? To be able to give that comfort early on from that perspective, because I know, and Benita briefs me quite a bit, our intellectual property, the risks attached to competition if they're here, etc., where we're at. So we're going that avenue in terms of...
So what we can do is we can, like on the other mines, we would have like a notary to actually give us a notarized letter. And maybe we can file that with our white paper. And obviously they can have recourse based on that.
Correct. Very
because
well
you
said.
must remember the mining sector, they would have recourse even from the ICC. So, it's far and wide.
Well said. I think Benita answered the question, Alex.
All right, great. And I do know that profitable gold claims are highly sought after by a lot of international companies and parties. So I understand the need to keep that kind of a trade secret. And are you planning? I know you have talked about
one more thing there, Alex. Man, just say one more thing.
Sure.
We were talking about risk as well.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to gold, people don't understand also, let's say you're working on what the yield may be, etc. The minute people assume or understand that you may own a gold mine, you suddenly become a very high risk individual.
Right.
So even for those reasons, you need to be careful as to how this gets pitched.
Yeah.
Yes, that is something, Benita, also again very well said, and thank you for it's something that I myself need to be cognizant of, because I know how Benita operates in terms of, we won't know where in the globe she is at the time. I think you heard, I'm not sure if you were present or you were in the lavatory, but where in the world is Wally? Where in the world is Benita? She can't disclose that, or she won't disclose that. We also need to be cognizant of that fact, and just a reminder to myself, especially. make sure I follow the way that Benito operates. We got too much at risk in terms of family.
So you got personal risk, you got competitive risk, you got risk even when you walk in airports. It's very, so having a notarized letter in the name of the organization, I think that would be safest for everyone. But we cannot have physical coordinates there unless we know that we aren't selling it, or there's a definite buyer coming in to view the product, or whatever it may be. So that is how we do it. We screen it very, very closely, should there be a need for that.
Okay, that makes total sense. Now, the legal firm that would notarize this, would it be a well-known firm? Some people have raised the concerns with other startups like this that some pop up overnight kind of legal firm puts their stamp on this thing, but nobody knows who they are. They don't have a reputation. Would you guys use like a well-known auditing firm or legal firm to audit this and give it that stamp of approval?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yes.
so Alex, we already. I think that's a what's the word that I'm looking for?
Non-negotiable.
Yeah, we're already engaged with such a firm, very, very reputable. They've already achieved great things in Web3. So they've been around the block. Also partnered with a European and an American firm to make sure that they're covered in those regions. So there's a lot of legal requirements that, or not requirements. There are a lot of legal avenues that we are looking to utilize. To boost the confidence in terms of what we're doing and our overall vision, and what we'd like to achieve here ultimately is legacy. So yeah.
Okay. Now you guys have some prospects for a mine in mind and are exploring them currently. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay. What if you could? Do we have like a timeline of when the gold mining side of this project could potentially be operational and profitable for NFT holders?
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 9-month timeline that we're looking at entirely. All right. Again, as you've chatted to our boots on the ground gentleman there, he is pushing it. So, but 9 months is what we've worked on. And I actually see there's an edit there that I need to do on the white paper.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes, so we're looking at a 9-month timeline.
Okay.
But Tyrick, may I add here as well? Don't forget that it can be 3-pronged. One may be, it could be sooner once the yield comes out. If we have takers that are profitable, we can on-sell, and that profits can actually go back into your community as well. The second thing would be that we may follow through.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the third option is. We may follow through and actually do the gold mining.
Yeah, I wanted to keep that sooner as a surprise. But Benita's right. It can be. But we'll go through the process and procedure, and we'll definitely be guided by Benita and Quindo Global and their partners. But yeah.
Okay, so if I understood some of that correctly, if you guys find a profitable claim, you would sell a portion of it immediately and
monetize it
and immediately get some return on that, or sell the whole thing if it makes sense, right? So you guys will determine that based on what the claims look like with your investigative technologies, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. That makes a lot of sense. And I see in your white paper you kind of break a little bit about of that down. It says sale of 20% shares here. I'm guessing that's shares in the mining operation, right?
Yeah, so that was just to give an indication of our thought process and procedures in terms of what we could potentially do. But yes, it would be in actual, it would be in the product. It would be in the product that we find in ground, because ultimately that's what people will want. They're not going to want land without product, and that's how you estimate the value.
Yeah,
But
so
yes.
we'll raise share capital basically on that as well. They come in and become co-owners. Yeah,
Correct.
definitely.
Now,
Yeah.
I've got a couple more questions about the gold mine. The supply chain trail for this gold going from the ground to Dubai. Will that be verifiable? Will that be audited? Well, because I know there are from the eyewitness or undercover documentaries I've seen on YouTube about the gold mining industry over there. A lot of people kind of wash dirty gold through clean mines, mines that have the certifications. Is there anything that you can do to ensure the supply chain or to, convince us that there's
Alex?
no washing of dirty gold or anything like that going on?
We don't want to be associated with that because, as we said, we are very, very open to due diligences. We are open to all your legal parameters, etc. So we wouldn't, obviously, if we want to do, why would we want to do that if we've got lucrative gold supply? If we can do it in a proper manner, why would we want to do it? Why would we want to create a smoke screen with corporate social initiatives and responsibilities if we want to do that? I believe that the African continent is smeared enough, as is the rest of the world. So it's time for us to clean up and to do it in a proper manner as well. So we don't want to be associated with that. Definitely not.
Okay, good. Yeah, and that I know that's a hot.
But we must also
topic,
remember that
issue, and-
Dubai, I
yeah.
may be wrong here as well, and Tyre can stop me. Dubai is not the only destination as well. We may have, depending on what our cost-benefit analysis is on it as well, we will look at doing what's best with the gold for it to give us the biggest return. Obviously, it's about the communities. Even when we sit and talk now, when we're discussing certain propositions, even in terms of, what we would like to use, suppliers, etc., we are looking for best value, in terms of how it would benefit our community. And by the same token, that's what we would do.
Well said.
Okay.
We may look at our own beneficiation if we have the capacity to do that. If our community gives us the capacity, we can do our own beneficiation, and the benefits can go directly to them. Because as you said, gold is now a store of value. And a lot of them are looking at holding gold to counter inflationary targeting, etc. That's affecting everyone directly right now.
Oh yeah, everybody, especially with
So
the
we're
petrodollar
not looking specifically at
risk.
Dubai for this. It could be many purposes.
Okay.
$1. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
and-
could use the old barter system and go into farming. We could provide food security through this as well. There's many ways of killing this cat.
Yep.
Okay. So another question, just due diligence about humanity. About human issues. Are you going to ensure that best practices for safety and health are followed at the mining operations? Because I know there are still to this day so many of these operations using raw mercury, just people burning mercury and the fumes going
So the
right into their
country-
face or touching it.
Sorry,
with their
Alex,
skin.
let me stop you there. The country that we are now acquiring our claim in or have acquired our claim in doesn't allow the use of mercury.
Beautiful.
So that's out.
Beautiful.
The other
All
thing
right,
is
great.
that from a personal perspective of our team, I think within us, we have that kind of ethics and morality, etc., to ensure that. And further than that, I think the countries that we will be in also are very, very stringent in terms of health, safety, regulation as well. So we would have to ensure that those licenses are in place, that abide by it, we adhere to it, and, so that we execute as we should. Currently, the group has another mine and that they've built up recently that was listed on the London Stock Exchange. And this is not affiliated, obviously, to the Alchemists, but I'm just citing this, where we've ensured that those things take place, even on a very what should I say, minor level. There are certain countries that have things like mudslides, etc., which is outside the parameters of our mining. But we will then go in and ensure that we are, what should I say, applying the safety standards so that even those individuals within that geographic region are not affected.
Okay. Well,
so that's the level of responsibility we take outside our own as well. So that should say a lot about the group.
Thank you for telling. That's why I ask these questions, is to find those things out, right? Because to me and to my audience, you're new, right? This is new to all of us here. So I am glad to find out your ethics and where you guys stand on those issues, because that's a hot, button topic for me. Mercury is so dangerous, and I've seen it hurt people, and even where I live. And then I've seen just like the gratuitous use of it in the gold mining, unregulated gold mining operations that happen all over the world, and it's a tragedy, really. So that's great.
No, I appreciate you asking us this, and I answer on behalf of our team.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
It's important that it be known.
Because I got a few things that I'm really ethically, I'm trying to figure out. Are you keeping the economic benefit to the people in the local area? Are you sharing in that with them, giving them opportunities through all this? You said yes. Making sure you're doing it with no child or slave labor, no labor under duress or anything like that. You said none of that. You guys are all good there. So great. And then third, health and safety, no mercury being used in these operations. And that's a huge issue for me personally. So I think that's great that we're ready with answers for all of those things. That's excellent. So thank you for explaining.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, so the supply chain, you're going potentially to Dubai and maybe some other places if it makes more sense in terms of profits and everything. Now, the supply chain, did you guys say the whole supply chain of the gold moving through from country to country is going to be audited or verified or notarized that, yes, it did follow legal channels?
Absolutely. There's a paper trail, and we will ensure that we meet all of the standards and requirements.
Is the gold by any chance getting flown to Sweden before Dubai?
It depends, and now this would take another day for me to explain the whole operation of how this goes ahead. But I promise you, once we reach that stage 3 or stage 4, once we start mining, I'm hoping once they trench, we can see something. Then you can come and be privy to the whole operation. How's that?
That sounds great. I would love to.
Otherwise, I'll have to charge you skills training and development to tell you exactly how we take it out and what we do.
Tahir said if I come to Africa, I'm probably getting kidnapped. So.
Oh, no.
Well, I appreciate the offer. And, if there are any opportunities like that where I could provide value for the community, I would do that, and I would take that risk. Hopefully I wouldn't get kidnapped or anything like that. Have your guys.
No, not at all. Africans are very loving by nature. They practice Ubuntu, so you would be well taken care of.
Ubuntu was my first Linux operating system. Fun fact for all you computer nerds out there. Hey. All right, so another thing I wanted to kind of understand, how will the gold mining operation, the gold claims, how is that going to be tied legally to the NFTs? Is there any accountability for that connection there, or is it just going to be purely based on trust?
So we're exploring that, to be very honest with you, with the legal firm that we have appointed to audit us, right? They like Benitez used the saying, there's many ways to skin that cat, right? Yeah. We would need to, so we're in the process of that. We would like to see that happen, right? We also know what value chain that brings along in terms of attracting other type of money, good money, clean money, but big money, right?
Yeah.
In terms of once we pivot to that and what our early supporters stand to gain, right? So that is something we're looking in. I'm personally passionate about trying to ensure that we achieve that. I am in consultation with my team. And yeah, we'll be having most probably next week, we'll be meeting again with the auditors, with Benita there. We will touch on all those things, but we have discussed the options, right? I am fully aware of how we could potentially execute that, right? And at which stage, it would just need to be at which stage and how do we do this? Do we choose to do this? But it is something we're looking at because it brings along opportunity. And
would there be a risk of us NFT holders having to KYC to hold one of these?
Yeah, so strangely enough, you asked me that, right? I asked that question. I said, okay, so what's happening with the KYC? Would they have to KYC if that's the fact? So the value there would be, in our rands, it's 50,000 rand, so about $3,500, right? Then you would need to KYC. However, this is also public information here, but you can have multiple wallets, man, right? So it's all up to you, but if your wallet hits over the $3,500 threshold, then you would need to KYC at that point. But there's, again, many ways to skin that cat, right? And we like skinning cats. Yeah, I see.
and whoever is watching, know the legal aspects of your jurisdiction. If this is something that, makes sense for you where you are, great. If not, look into it. Make sure you understand these things and, hedge your risks appropriately, people, right? Like, this is DeFi, but it's a global thing, and there are many different governments and jurisdictions involved with their own laws regarding any kind of, thing like this. And this is new. This is DeFi. It's experimental. So I don't even know what to call it, right? If I say it's one thing, I could be completely wrong. And if I say it's another thing, I could be completely wrong. So I call this a DeFi experiment. But I still want to understand how you ensure accountability and...
There's a way. The auditor firm that we're working with has already done that with gold coins. And I've told my community, I haven't tagged them, all right? But it was in our VIP chat group where I informed them that, listen, we've got a potential where we can access gold coins that are legally. It's in the vault, but you own it by purchasing this digital collectible, all right? Our auditor set that up in Web3. That's not the great thing that they actually done, but that's one of the projects they actually worked on from a legal framework. So there's definitely, there are ways to do it. And when the legal landscape changes, right, you be water, right? You be water and you adapt. And these are, you mentioned, the guys need to make sure that they're in their jurisdictions, et cetera. We're about that freedom to transact, okay? The main reasons that we even considering this, okay, is because we want that freedom to transact. Don't bar people to opportunities.
Absolutely. That's why we're in DeFi, right? That's the beauty of it at the end of the day. And that's why I always tell people, know the risks where you live. So that way you're not just flying blind. Okay. Be smart, everybody. And but I love this kind of stuff because I get exposure to potentially all these things, and it's very easy. I just have to click a few buttons and do some due diligence and know what I'm getting into. Obviously, everybody know, don't mortgage the house on anything, but
definitely not.
Be safe out here. DeFi is high risk. It's experimental stuff. This is a very experimental business model, but I think it's super interesting. I also like how you hedge and diversify your revenue streams, and you've taken a big stance in Bitcoin and gold specifically, which I think are evergreen, even though Bitcoin's only been around for like a little over a decade. But in terms of value, their value is stable, essentially, right? Like gold, you could buy the same with gold like 2,000 years ago as you could buy today. Like, basically. And
Alex,
silver too, and we're
giving up. I love it. and we're giving our holders in our ecosystem exposure to all this, right? So it's fun. It's fun to put together. All of this is taking shape, and we can benefit people as well as ourselves. We win, they win, so it's a win-win, and that's how we set this up. And I'm excited for this thing to just take shape.
Yeah, me too. And I know you're like the most bullish person ever on this. This is your baby to hear. Benita, how do you feel about this whole thing? What are your feelings about the Alchemists and this whole Web3 thing merging with your commodities experience and businesses?
Well, Tyre, maybe I should tell him now. Tyre and I were talking about this long before we even spoke about Quindo. We were talking about the shift. This is the duality of the shift, and that's where the gold came in, where one ties in with the other, because you spoke about the Bitcoin holding its value, and gold has forever held its value. So what better reason for us to come together and do this? So of course I'm passionate about both sides, so I'm not only on the Quindo side, I've been on this side. I think before we incorporated Quindo, isn't it, Tyre?
That's right, yes, Benita.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
From the inception of the white paper and all of it, I've been there.
That's right.
So
party to it.
You have always been a fan of sound money, I should say.
Yeah, definitely. That's all you can be. Otherwise, you're going down. I mean, look at the world. Look at where we at. So sometimes when we say, yes, don't mortgage the house, but you've got to create a safety net, because even your house is not safe today.
Yeah. Well said. You gotta kind of have your toes dipped in a little bit of everything, because if one thing goes down, something else might go up to offset it.
Yes, we've had countries that were sanctioned. Those countries have had the highest rates of export trade of recent. That in itself speaks.
Yeah, we won't mention which country.
You look at the new world powers that are emerging. That in itself speaks to us. Yeah. So this move is, I think it's a move in the right direction. It's not something of trial and error. We've thought it through. From my background, I come from a group of professionals, and sometimes they call us economist fortune tellers. Of course we are, because we know where we're headed. So I think this is a shift in the right direction. And
history doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes, right? And
Absolutely.
We have seen the inflation or debasing of currencies all for thousands of years. It always ends the same way. All currencies go to zero. And the only thing that doesn't is gold and silver and other real world assets that hold value. So, but in terms of fungibility and transactability, gold and silver are still the de facto gold standard. There's a reason it's called the gold standard, right? That whole phrase
the best
comes from gold being what it is.
And what better way? I mean, we're talking about accountability as well. What better way of accountability? Be it from a supplier-based side or be it from holding it as a store of value.
Yes, I agree. I think it's especially this year with everything that's been coming the past 4 or 5 years at an accelerated pace. I think they're gonna turn on quote unquote quantitative easing again soon, because they're gonna have to. They only got a few levers they can throw to be agile, as we were saying, to be adaptive for their situation. The Keynesian economists, and then and then also the petrodollar. Other countries saying, "Hey, we don't recognize that anymore. We're going to start buying oil with our currency or gold or other things." And screw you, basically. What are you going to do about it? And
it's happened already. They've merged two currencies and they're doing it currently. So the only thing you can do is hold gold.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
And
agree.
also, from
this-
the acquisition point of view, if I may just come in as well,
Uh-huh.
we are all for transparency, clarity, etc., because it's very important for the community to know how the funds are being used as well. And on our side as well, you got to know that the African countries are still rooted in certain old systems, So we use again, a duality in the business space where you would have a paper trail and you marry that paper trail to what we're doing in this space as well.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the ultimate use cases for blockchain technology is putting supply chains on a immutable blockchain that can't be messed with. That's fully public. Yeah, it's a ledger that you can't mess with, that you can't tamper with.
Go listen to the video on our website, right? You'll hear what the wizard has to say about the cryptographic ledger.
I heard that, yes. Yeah. Anybody watching, go check out their homepage. They've got you're talking about this video, right?
Yeah.
It's great. Look at this.
Welcome everyone to the blockchain catastrophe, a disruption to...
Can you hear that?
No, we can't, but
right.
They can go check it out. They can check
it out. Yeah, I'm not sharing my audio with you guys on the call, but all right, so the gold mining operation and your partnership with Quindo Global Investment Group sounds very cool. It's exploratory and experimental, and you're agile like water, navigating this as quickly as possible with the legal aspects, the accountability aspects, and at the same time you are scouting claims. What's that?
Yeah, Alex, it's like Benita said, it's not experimental. This is what Benita and her groups have been doing. You with me?
40 years.
Yeah.
Some of your very big people, we can't name them, but some of your very big companies who are also in a lot of trouble, some of them were set up by our chairman.
Yeah.
Yes. So we are not experimental at all. What we do is tried and tested. That is why we are able to move with such agility. That is why the first stage took place within these 2 months. Is it 2 months, Ty?
Quick pass, yeah?
Yeah.
Quick pass.
And you told me you have decades of experience and you manage multiple claims and operations and...
Absolutely.
Like a dozen different commodities at least. And it sounds like... So I guess what I was talking about with like the exploratory, experimental, legal is with the legal and accountable side of tying this together with Web3, DeFi, crypto, blockchain technology. That's new, right? There's no best practice there.
Yeah,
right?
It is new, but one of the sister companies, Tyre is aware, is doing it as well. So yes.
Yeah, and at the same time.
So we lend, we borrow, we take, but we take the best because we want what's best for our community.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
And can I ask, I don't know if this is confidential as well, what sister company that would I be familiar with?
No, I can't name. No, I won't because I'll be breaching my confidentiality clause.
Totally understand. I've signed so many NDAs, it terrifies me. I totally get it. So...
not even an NDA. I work with them, so it's IP that I will be breaching, etc. But they're in full awareness of my operations. Yeah, so yeah.
Now
IP is very, it's a delicate thing to play with, so we don't play with that. And by the same token, we'll be taking care of Alchemist IP as well.
So what's the big value proposition for you guys? So what makes this whole thing make sense for Quindo Global Investment Group? What are you guys getting out of this?
So you'll see the 33.33%, right? That's allocated to the project development. We're able to expand that and grow that. And we've started small with the Alchemists gold claim, all right? So with what we're getting from this, we're giving back and we're winning. So it's I'll say it again, it's a win-win, because with the backing that we can create in Web3, right? And basically, and to be very honest with you, Quindo Global Investments has given me and my team, right? And obviously Benita is part of our team, but they've given us the opportunity, right, to scale. So that's where the benefit comes in, is that we're not able we're starting small, but we're going to scale, right? And that's where everybody wins. Quindo Global.
And if I may add, Yatir, the larger group, you see, with us as Africans, we believe in building each other up, especially now, you know. So I see Alchemist, as much as I'm part of the inception of it, I see it as one of our incubators. So that's what it is for us as well. And that's how I've made our larger group see them.
Okay.
So you've got it, Alex.
All right. So this is like like a startup tech incubator type project for you and your partners, and then also Ubuntu, right?
Yeah, the
Africans helping
African
each other
proverb
as a
is you
community.
can't grow without growing others, Alex. You can't grow without growing others.
Okay.
And that's what we want to do. We want to grow the community. We want to grow our local communities. There's so much of a vision here. All we pray is that we have the right outcomes now.
Amen.
Awesome. And for the record, I have to ask these questions because people are going to be wondering, well, why do they need them and vice versa? So I've got to ask, like, what are your motivations here? What are your interests? And why does it make sense for you guys to partner together? So those are common questions that I'm going to get about you guys. And why did you ask this, Alex? Blah, blah, blah. So I got to ask those things. And
no, we're good for it. Don't worry. You can ask anything. We're transparent. Go ahead.
And my answer is kind of the same. I love entrepreneurship for entrepreneurship's sake. It gives people the ability to build means for themselves from their own efforts, and they can bootstrap a life that they might not have otherwise had available to them just by creating a business and having these partnerships and networking and things like that. So I love entrepreneurship. I love DeFi. That's why we're all here, right?
Yeah. But besides all of that, yes, that is true. The entrepreneurship side lives within us. I think everybody around the table here, it's in our core, okay? Yeah. But the opportunity, the why is because, listen, we know blockchain is the future, no matter what, all right? We're busy building an old school industry, okay? Besides the other revenue streams, we're taking an old school industry based purely on relationships and partnerships that I fortunately have with Quindo Global, and we're bringing it to the blockchain. So the questions is though, it's very obvious when you're an entrepreneur is that there's opportunity here, and that's what we see. We see the opportunity. We see that we can also help people and at the same time benefit us. Because we've got
it's reform, absolutely.
Yeah, and we see we've got gold claims available. I know Benita is very passionate about potentially some lithium claims that is knocking on our door, but we won't dive too much into that right now. But it is there, and we can expand on that. We can go, we can explore, and we can take people with us, man. I think that's the best. That's a simple answer to the why. The opportunity is there. See the opportunity, seize the opportunity.
And Alex, just one more thing, if I may say, Entire and the rest of our guys there, we've got young blood, we've got hardworking people. For me, all of that makes a difference as well. And they're creating the right kind of transformation as well. As he says, blockchain is the future. So why not? And, we're open to different revenue streams. So another area that we're passionate about, like you speak about the use of mercury, it angers me that, we have GMO foods, that people are suffering from illnesses as a result of it. So organic is what? we want organic fertilizer. We want to set up all these industries, but there's so much of red tape. There's so much of paperwork behind it. It's so difficult to do. So this is what we want to do. From here, we want to move into other areas that are life-changing as well. And like gold, food, water, those are the new gold, because there's huge shortages with that as well.
Yeah, they just don't last as long, right?
No, they don't last as long, but you can't last without them. You can last without your piece of gold, but can you live without a drop of water or food? No. So we need to ensure that these things are there. And it's a reality when you sit on the soil of Africa and you see abject poverty. No, it's unbearable.
Yeah,
you should a bit of alpha there, Benita. You snuck in a bit of alpha there for Alex, for anybody paying attention. But yeah, well said.
So the alpha is you might pivot some of this into.
You don't have to repeat it, Alex.
Into food, and it makes sense for a boots on the ground operation in that area versus somebody trying to ship a container of bananas from one country to the other and it gets there and it's rotten, right? Like that's a risk in the food business. That's why gold is and metals are so great for shipping. They don't expire. Gold doesn't go bad. But with food it does. So if you're local, food can make a lot of sense, especially if it can help the community and you can do it in an organic manner. I've taken notes from African agriculture. I'm growing organic moringa and cassava here on my farm.
Fantastic.
Yeah. It makes a ton of sense. It's like moringa is like nature's multivitamin. Cassava has twice as many calories as potatoes, and it grows like a weed. You stick the stick in the ground and boom, you got one.
So when I was in West Africa, I spent 2 years there. So we set up a factory to actually create flour from cassava. Because it has way more benefits than your wheat flour. But anyway, we're digressing now. But also, I don't agree on only food production for local supply. We as Africans, we need to hype up our balance of payments. We need to export the food because the reality is the rest of the world needs our food. I mean, we've had countries come into Africa and say to us, grow pulses, grow this, grow that, but we won't give you money, use your labor and we'll give you a few machines, So anyway, this is for another conversation as well.
We could talk all night, Benita.
We need our balance of payments. We need revenue from the rest of the world like we've given them. We don't want to produce for our local people only. We want your money, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll give our best back to you.
That's right. And I gotta add to that. A lot of the African leaders, if you watch in the past 2 to 3 weeks, right, are very vocal about this fact that the product is being recycled back into Africa instead of going out into the value chain because Africa can produce for itself. Why is it going back? Why is it going out and then coming back in? Where's the money going? What's the reason for that? We don't need that. And the shift is happening. The way.
And I love that. So that's like the entrepreneurship on a global scale. I love it when countries and continents are profitable and prosperous and their people are happy and have a high quality of life. And I think we can all, I'm assuming you guys are like me, you want that for everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Amen.
Yeah, we want humanity. Amen. So why not? Of course.
Amen. And people say, these goody two shoes. Listen, that's what morality is. That's straight up. Listen, that's what morality is. You've got kids, you've seen abject poverty, you've been around it, it's surrounding you, it's in our country, it's on our continent, right? We know what it is, right? It's morals, it's morality.
Yeah. If you don't feel something when you see it or experience it, you should go see a doctor or a priest or something.
but that's to deal with those type of questions. But why? Why bring this value? Why do all these things?
Mhm.
I think we've answered that. I think we've encapsulated all those answers into the word. It's just, you know, it's we're human, and if you've got that morality, that sense of morality, it's what drives you.
I know we've talked about this a lot personally, you and me, to hear. We've had multiple hour-long conversations about values and things like that. And that's something that I find important to share with my audience is what are the values of the leaders behind these businesses? And I think we can, you know, if somebody is watching this, they probably have a good idea of some of your values now.
Yeah, we hope so.
Yeah. So speaking of that, I am on the social responsibility page. So Benita, while I still have you for a little bit more time, do you want to break down what you and the Alchemists are doing in terms of social responsibility, giving back to the community and things like that?
Okay, so from the mining side, the first thing we'd want to do is we'd want to allocate a percentage shareholding to the community whose land we would be mining on, etc. We would want to provide facilities for them, for the aged, you know, for the children, especially education programs, etc., empowerment of women, etc. I think also, you know, I've looked at countries where there's been war, you know, that have been in war for more than 10 years, etc. And I often ask them, how did you survive? And they say the best way to survive is with small-scale gardens. I think, you know, teaching basic things like that is important to us as well. So we would do all of that from a corporate social initiative or responsibility. Tyre and them have already incorporated, I think it's university fees, etc., for those children. And that's also very important because you need to create a balance between the technical trades as well as academics. I'm not sure where I shortfall here, Tyre, because I've spoken so much. I've forgotten.
No, well
Maybe
said.
you can
Yeah,
just
well
add
said.
in.
And it's very late by you know that by me too. But yes, so we've, as Benita's mentioned, the student debt side of things. We know that people are held down by just wanting to improve themselves, and even though we're not changing the world, right? We're affecting 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people's lives, and just doing that, there's a famous saying from our culture is that saving one person is like saving the entire humanity. Killing one person is like you've killed the entire humanity, and it's deep. It's you can't just go on surface level, and it's we've done it. And you know what? The smile, the people that we've been able to help. It's from within our community, right? So it's great to do. We look to do more of that. Obviously, put other structures in place so that we can have outflow or inflow of other capital coming in and assisting us with that. Not only utilizing the project fund to be able to do that. So again, there is another vision. I don't want to get too much into that and get us sidetracked. But therein is another vision that especially, you listen to Benita and she's very passionate about certain things, and especially the social responsibility side. She's also got a very strong network that we could access once we've got the right vehicle for it. It's all about creating the right vehicle. But again, it takes time, and we're on the road to create all this together.
Also, ensuring that they are employed within those organizations, ensuring also that the small scale miners or alluvial miners, we also empower them, whether it's with skills, whether it's with physical facilities or whatever it may be, or also just showing them, how you can actually trade the product from beginning to end and things like that. And the main thing is creating beneficiation in those countries, on the continent. encouraging exports so that we receive that kind of revenues to create economic growth in those countries and again on the continent, and obviously it'll filter out globally as well. So you'll be looking at not only a very minor picture, starting with the family, as Tyre says, empower one child with an education, and you're feeding an entire family, and that's the whole thought process with that.
That's great.
And goodness begets goodness. So why not? When people say why, again, there's a simple answer to it. It's a very simple.
Okay, it does blow my mind. I've seen people trying to critique your business model here and this side of things, and they're like, well, why would they do that? It doesn't make sense. Their answers aren't good. Helping just to help, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, from just a business, like, aside from just doing a good thing, to do a good thing and to help somebody else, you can always flip it, inverse it, look at it in a mirror, and you can say, you're helping yourself when you help other people. Heck, in the Bible, in the Old Testament, I believe it says, if you give something, you will get it back 7 times, sevenfold, right? So if that's something good, you're going to get that back 7 times. If it's something bad, you're going to get that back 7 times. And if you don't believe in the Bible or whatever, that's regardless. It's an ancient proverb for a reason, because there's wisdom and truth behind that principle. I see it every day in this space.
But also, Alex, people don't understand the African narrative, and I don't blame them. You have to, again, sit on African soil to understand the reality of our African narrative, and they don't. So therefore, they would say, okay, you're doing it for one person, so what? But as I said, one person educated takes care of an entire family. And we're talking about a family. We're not talking about a nucleus family. We're not talking about mother, father, 3 kids. We're talking about uncles, aunties, their children, grandparents, and everybody. And that is how Africa is still operating presently.
That's right, yeah. She's right.
Yeah. And it's not just for a moment. It's for decades.
A lifetime.
You're talking grandchildren. You're talking centuries. Yes. I mean, it changes the course of time.
Yes.
So,
and that child would remember the good deed. And we always say, the usual cliche now has become pay it forward. But in Africa, who do you pay it forward to? Except if you can construct organizations like ours, you got to pay it forward in your own family, because it's true, charity begins at home. So that's what it is. So empowering one means you are creating that chain in that family. You're giving hope. You're giving courage. You're giving them, not knowing where your next loaf of bread is coming from for 20 people. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
I've seen children pull out weeds, weeds that have these little nuts at the bottom, and they would sit and try to eat that. They're so tiny. What nourishment or nutrition is there? So if you can, as much as one child is insignificant, if you can do it, because it makes a difference in Africa.
100%. And Benita, very, very well said, but also something that could potentially hit close to home for other people in other parts of the world. The local employees that you employ to work inside your homes, they live in nannies, they live in, who takes care of your children and the household chores. They send that money home to do what? To feed their family, to clothe their children, to assist their parents. They're sending money home to empower their people, right? So that maybe that can put them into perspective.
And it's a very meager salary as well that they survive on.
I love DeFi for that reason, by the way, because those the arbitrage of the cost of living is incredible, the effect it can have on somebody, where I could pay somebody from Africa or India in some parts what would be minimum wage here, and they'd be making 3 times what a computer engineer would be making where they live. Right? Like, it's mind-blowing to me. And like I've some of the people that I hire sometimes when I need help with my video editing or just managing this business that's growing faster than I can kind of manage.
Please.
They are, I'm helping people support entire families across the world, and it blows my mind. Like I don't even know how to process that information, really.
Yeah, but this conversation has put that into perspective, right, Alex?
Yeah.
And you can understand why Benita moves the way that she moves, and I support that 100% because I'm with her. I see it around me.
Yeah, I love it. I love the people of Africa. I love the people of India. I love the people of the world, man. I really do. Animals too, as you guys know. I run a nonprofit animal sanctuary. We rescue animals that are abused or not fed, like neglected. And I see that stuff. I have to go into these situations and see that suffering, and it imprints on your soul, and you carry that around with you. You know?
Exactly.
So I understand it through a different lens. I haven't seen what you guys are seeing there. I know it's very different, but also like these mines. Do you guys build roads to them?
Yes,
so I know building roads in some parts of Africa.
We've just done that. We've done that.
We've
for
just done it.
Really? Are there people in the local area that now benefit from that road?
Yes.
I've got a video I haven't shared with the community because it's you know they just see land, but this is what our guys on the ground have done. They've put these caveats for when the rain comes to make sure that the rain goes away from the roads. It actually drains the water from the road. So we're already busy with it, man.
And there's also an underground water supply, so they can access clean water from there as well. Yeah. That's what Jakub was saying. He says we must actually look at enhancing that so that, they can have water.
And that's amazing. I know how important safe roads are, especially with the water, the rain, and everything like that in Africa. I've watched entire documentaries on this, and I've seen how treacherous and terrifying that is, and how villages people can be completely stranded for months on end from the rest of society. And so I've had dreams of I wish I had infinite money. I would build roads for those people that would not go bad, or you know what I mean?
Oh,
that's literally, I have fantasized about that, as weird as that sounds. And I was like, if I had infinite money, I would be over there building roads to these people's villages where the water drained away and they could drive safely on them. And building gold mines in areas, you have to build a road to it. So if you have a profitable business endeavor where part of that includes improving the infrastructure that can help the quality of life of the people living in those regions, I think that's a wonderful thing to do, honestly.
So what we do also on the other mines, you do it like the kibbutz. You would have a church, you would have or whatever place of worship, you would have a little nursery school, you'd have kitchens. You create a beautiful environment for them to live in as well.
That's amazing. And not many people think about that stuff when it comes to these type of enterprises. And if you because
they haven't been there, Alex, right? Benita's been there.
And when you create this, Alex, for them, it's like you give somebody a roof over their heads and food to eat, and you see how people thrive.
Yeah.
So it's about, again, creating that. It's a necessity. It's part of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So how would you not do that? Especially if there's inclement weather, how do you expect them to go and just live, sometimes the mud huts, they dissolve in the weather and things like that. So you have to think about these things. Like we want comfort, we want, a little bit of luxury. That's where we can thrive. That's where we can think. That's where we work well. Why not create the thing?
I love it. I love it so much. I don't care if anybody listening is like, you're biased, YaBonks. I don't care. I love it. I love improving people's lives. That's amazing. And that's a part of this business that I think is so important, that from a bit, let me be a ruthless capitalist for a second, okay? Purely greed driven, right? If I have a business that is extracting the raw materials from a region, and this region and their local governance and their community has two options. A ruthless company like the bad guys from the movie Avatar, who are there to get unobtainium and just destroy the soul tree and everything around. They burn it all down. Or a company that has values that align with the country or region or people that are there and focus on improving the lives there and doing it in a tactful way rather than just pillaging the land and extracting all the value for themselves. You guys are creating systems that help people, empower them, give back to them, while at the same time allowing you to grow and prosper and be profitable as well. And that means that, like, just as an organization, a business, if you go to another region, they're going to probably welcome you with open arms, be like, you, please come here. Not those guys. We don't want those people anymore. You guys come buy these mines, please.
But too much of that has happened, and you're not wrong in saying that, you know. There's been too much of destruction and exploitation as well. So we have to go into these things conscientiously as well. You know, I always say, we can be ruthless capitalists, but does all of this belong to us? Even if we hold a title deed in our hands, does it really belong to us? We've seen natural disasters get rid of everything. You know, so we need to respect Mother Earth as well. I would give you another quick example as well. We also busy with a mine, Southeast Asia, and it had a huge, what is the word, of elephants. So I fought tooth and nail for us to build an elephant sanctuary because you cannot take their environment away from them. That's when they're going to come back, and that's when they would be vicious and have you. So I insisted. It was a cost to company, but they had to do it. There was one area that had a sacred temple as well. They were ready to bulldoze it down. What are the implications of that? I mean, there are people that worship there. How do you do that?
Yeah.
You know, it's so many little things that you have to take cognizance of.
And it's not black and white. It is not.
No, it's not. And it comes up. That's what I said to Tyra as well. These are unforeseen things that come up. And you have to make a plan around it. It's not only about your numbers at the end of the day. 2016, I won't forget, it was August. I was in West Africa. I had gone to set up in Guinea-Conakry, International Agency for Social Economic Development, and Sierra Leone had a terrible mudslide. Do you know that we had international agencies there? And I mean, Lord forbid who listens to me, but there was no help. People were digging out their loved ones with sticks from trees because there were not even spades or shovels to help dig out people from this mudslide. So if we are human beings, how do we allow things like this?
You do what you can to try to help, I guess. I don't know.
No, not only that, but shouldn't every country have basic aid? Shouldn't it be like a gazetted norm?
So Benita, do you know, and Alex, can you see what Benita's been exposed to? I mean, she's given you maybe...
feel it.
So sorry, I'm going on and on. No, I need to go to bed.
This really, I can feel what you're saying. And I know anybody who watches this, they'll probably feel it too. It's powerful. And you're probably going to change a lot of people through this. Honestly, a lot of people are going to watch this.
And Alex, and this can maybe again put people into perspective in why our business model is as such, and the corporate social responsibility area is there. And I've said this before, we've been mandated by Quindo Global to ensure we do X, Y, and Z in that aspect. You've heard it.
And by the same token, we respect the group, the network, as I said, the young blood, the hardworking ethics, their morality, everything. You know, the reality is, again, I'm just speaking now from my heart. It is not about the money. We want to change lives. We really do. And it's not only African lives. anywhere globally that we can make a difference, we will. If one of the community comes to us and says to us, look, I am an investor from Cambodia, can you do the same here or whatever? I would willingly try to enforce it within our group to say, yes, let's go out there and make a difference as well.
That's awesome.
So this is what it's all about for us as well. Because you cannot, they say you can't build happiness on anyone's tears. You can't build capital while others are suffering. It's the same philosophies here as well.
Yeah. And I totally agree. And as part of my business analysis of your business here that you guys are working on together, I ask these questions because a business that is morally going in the right direction, if you have a moral compass and you do the right thing, even if it means you're slightly less profitable, then you will probably survive long term because you're doing good and people want you to stay around.
It's okay. We often ask here as well, every family, how many loaves of bread do you need to eat? You don't need more than a loaf if you're just a normal family. So let everyone eat from it.
Yeah. Well, Benita, thank you so much for sharing all of this insight. I hope we get to do this again. And Tahir, don't think you're off the hook yet. I've got a bunch of questions for you still. But Benita, I know I know it's really late where you are.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah,
God bless you. Pleasure talking to you, and thank you for your time as well.
Hey,
thank you, Tahir, and thank you to our team out there. God bless all of you. Good night. Bye.
Good night, Benita.
Bye-bye.
And on that note, Alex, it's 20 to 2 in the morning, my end, so it's just as late.
Well, we can finish.
It's time for Seri now, I think, eh?
Almost.
So here, we can finish up the rest of this real quick. We'll let Benita drop off, and then I just have a few other due diligence questions. So we'll pick it up from there. Now that we've spoken with Benita and you about the gold mining operations and where that's all going, let's talk about your physical gold trading operations. Do you want to give me a rundown of how that's going to work?
Yeah, so it's fairly simple. I think a lot of the Web3 crowd that will be listening to this video might have come across something similar in Web3, all right? But I don't believe that operation is still happening. So we're here to fill that gap. Nonetheless, this was part of our plan. It's always been there, right? And we're going to offer a very similar service where we will have X amount of gold allocation, which we do, right? And we're going to raise X amount of funds via our DApp, right? And we're going to be physically trading those gold bars from the miner straight through to the buyer, and as Benita said, wherever they may be, right? So they've already got ready buyers in these locations, right? Locked in for whatever percentage less LME. So it's ready. But again, our ecosystem needs to grow to a degree where I prefer to keep this exclusive, right? I don't really want to open this opportunity up to just anybody outside of our ecosystem, but it all depends how quickly our ecosystem itself develops in terms of our holders. So the gold trading that I'm specifically talking about is not the project taking funds and going to buy 5 kilos, 6 kilos of gold. I'm talking about buying 25 kilos of gold and trading that, all right? Believe it or not, we've already got a deal in principle with one other ecosystem that understands and also has had deep discussions with us, right, in terms of allocating some of the treasury funds for gold trade. So we've already opened up that opportunity, and I'm dealing with specific. It's not just going out there to any random, all right? We're choosing who do we deal with, who do we give this opportunity to, because it's there, it's real, it's tangible. Okay, so we've got that option. It will come alive. Our DApp will be ready in about 3 to 4 weeks. All right, it should be 3 weeks. We've got a fantastic new dev team working on the DApp where it can accommodate for these type of investment or raises so that the profit split can be done accordingly to whatever is in terms of what the profit margins were after that months of trade. Right, boom, you get executed. It gets taken. My preference would be not to compound but to take your profits, work with your initial capital, and let's do it again. You with me? So that's my preference. And that's on the gold trading side. Now, when the project has excess funds, we will then utilize that. Obviously, we'll put in funds and we'll be very, very transparent with how much funds we've put in. Because those funds that we do trade with the project funds gold, there you've seen the breakdown of what that profit split is. All right. When we do that, or reward split, when we do that, how come I look like I'm frozen on the screen?
You're not frozen on my end. You're still moving over here.
Okay, that's fantastic. I just got a nice little photo. Okay, so that's the plan there. The figures that are shown in this projection here, those numbers have changed. Okay, because of the gold demand, the gold fluctuation. Those numbers have changed, but nonetheless, we will accommodate. We'll go to the obviously what the price of gold is. The price of gold. You know what I mean? And what we can get it for, and what we can sell it for. And all of that would be public knowledge, or rather our community knowledge. I want to keep it exclusive.
Okay. Is there a max limit that you can scale this thing?
I want to keep it. So we don't want to go 400 kilos, 500 kilos, right? We can, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep it below the radar, right? Trade nicely, make some decent profits, and continue to win. Not to scale up to be this grand moving tons and alpha tons of gold a month, right? Because you're playing in a different ballpark right there, right?
Yeah.
So I prefer to go the 25, 50 kilo, 100 kilos max, right? In moving product, to be very honest with you. Is there a limit to what we can do? No. But do we want to limit ourselves? Yes.
So you're saying when you're 100 kilos or more, you're probably on the radar of some bigger fish in that industry that you don't want to be on the radar.
Yeah, look, we don't have to be too concerned about the bigger fish, because we are playing with the bigger fish, right? As you've heard. But it's more fiscal. Is that the right word? We just want to be below the radar when it comes down to trading, especially moving X amount of funds across borders, and you
don't want to have too much exposure to one of these revenue streams. You want to have it allocated, kind of, right?
No,
because this could just take all. You can put all the money into this if it's churning out profit immediately, and there's no limit to it. It's just go all in, but then you don't. Going all in is very risky in any kind of trade.
But also you don't want too many eyes on moving quantities of gold. Just that's my preference. All right, we can operate under other banners and push the product out under other banners. But I know 25 to 100 kilos. That's where I'm happy to play in for our community specifically. It's okay. The profits are good. Don't be greedy. We just do it over and over and over again. Simple.
Okay, I like that. I like that methodology. And so the supplier would be Quindo Global and their partners?
No, that wouldn't be the supplier. The supplier would be wherever we have the gold at that time. So suppliers can change. Quindo Global, they will assist with boots on the ground, because you need to verify that product. You need to assay that product. You need to make sure that what you're getting is not a lump of clay, okay? Then you need to ensure that that product can leave the country legally. That when you pay those taxes, the product can leave. So you need to have those relationships to leverage, because you can pay for the product, right? That product can't leave the country. And now what?
Do you have any way to verify if gold from a supplier is coming from an unethical source?
So that I'm not the expert. I must be very honest with you. I'm not the expert in that field. Benita, and they will take care of all of those things in terms of making sure that it meets all the standards that they set for themselves. So I'm not the expert in that. They will deal with that on the ground. We've got the expertise. We will use it, Alex.
I appreciate the frankness and transparency with that. And according to what Benita told us, with how the gold claims and the commodity mining operations work with Quindo Global and all their partners, it seems like they would follow the same standards. She did say that they account for that in, because I asked her, like, is blood gold, dirty gold, washed into any of the gold coming out of these mines? And she said, heck no, we only operate in places where that's legal nationwide. So
listen, we gotta. She sets a very high bar, Alex, and that's why we can sleep well at night, my friend.
Well, that's good, because I don't want to get involved in anything that I don't want somebody doing something nefarious that I am, giving my money to. I don't want to invest in anything that's going to be doing something that hurt. Like, I want to know the effect, right, of where I'm throwing my capital around for my own gain. And even if it's bad, I just want to know that, so I can like weigh that morally. Am I okay with that or not? So,
we won't do that, because at the end of the day, mate, I also got to sleep at night. All right,
me too, man.
I've got 4 kids of my own. Benita, you've heard what she's experienced on the ground. When you see these types of things, and when you're a woman, especially when you're a woman, right, it affects you differently to what it might affect us. Okay,
for sure.
So we even if the creepy feeling came in, oh man, we can take that 10 kilos of gold for $10,000 less, right? But we know I've got Mrs. Watchdog in any case, and that's her field of expertise. I ain't gonna mess with that. And do I have the time for that? I don't believe so, with all the shit we've got going on. So they'll handle that from start to finish for us, Alex.
I appreciate your candidness and transparency with such tough ethical issues in the gold trading industry, especially in that part of the world. Obviously, you've thought these things through, and Benita lives and breathes this stuff, and I could feel her passion about improving the lives of Africans. So I don't really think that you guys would be doing anything like that. And when operations are in motion and everything like that, I will be looking forward to talking with you more about how those things are operating.
Listen, Benita, I haven't heard her say that before, but she's invited you, right, when it's ready, right, for you to come down. So she's extended the invitation, and
I'm coming, man. I'm coming. Alex goes to Africa.
Naturally, we're gonna have to follow through with that, because Benita invited you, my friend.
I would love it, dude. Even if it's a working trip and I'm there just working, verifying this stuff.
Business, mate.
It's a beautiful continent, I've heard.
She invited you. I think you'll enjoy it. I know where it's at, of course. And at the same time, we're going to do the whole notary thing that you spoke about, which is fine. It's in the process. We've got the auditors. But it would just be cool to have you there and experience what we're actually saying come to life. It's there. I've got videos I haven't shared, mate. I haven't shared it because it's tough to share just random videos if people don't know the background and they're not involved in the discussions attached to the video and all of those things. And then it's just like a random video. Oh, incredible. So I don't share those things, but we see the developments. We see the roads being built. We see the caveats being placed. Yeah. It's exciting. It's very exciting. And it rubs me the right way.
Dude, it's exciting for me too, to hear stuff like that. Just when you say roads being built, that hits me at like a deep soul level for some reason, because maybe I can like feel from across the world what people are feeling when they don't have access to roads and they can't get where they need to be to get the supplies they need to survive. Like that. That's a scary thing.
Yeah, it's not your tar roads. It's not this fantastic highway, tar roads that looks. It's literally dirt, but they compact it. They make it nice. They put down the sides with the caveats. They make sure that it's solid, and it can last. It just will need to be maintained over a period of time. But it's an access way. It's access ways, in actual fact.
Well, I'm excited about that. And all right, so the gold trade, you're you're going to ensure that everything's done ethically and is sourced from ethical places and going through the proper channels. Awesome. Good to hear. Now, the next thing I wanted to ask you about is your property investments. So do you let me know how that's going to work?
Yeah, so in actual fact, we've got an AMA with it's with another project, all right? They've got a very solid team, and as you know, we like to do these strategic alliances and partnerships because it just makes sense, all right? We're going to be hosting an AMA. I think I've booked it for the 12th of April, right? Within our Discord, we're going to be introducing the entire project development, the plan, what they have in place, the revenue streams attached to the project development, the amount of capital that is being raised, and the Alchemists. We can fortunately say that, listen, we're going to be a part of this. This is what we want to be. This is what we want to do. We're going to showcase it to our community. We want to get their buy-in, share our vision that we see. Hey, listen, because this is an early start for us. We weren't going to get involved in property development in phase 2. We were first going to monetize, ensure that from the gold aspect, we're able to get this capital and then inject it into these other revenue streams to generate. But this came across our table. And in phase 2, we're saying, listen, it's a year. We're not going to go balls to the walls, but we're going to say, let's participate because this is what we want to do. You with me? And we're going to showcase that in the AMA, and people can come and see who the team is, what their background is, right? What they've done already in Web3 and where they're taking this project development. I'm excited because it solves a problem, right? It solves a problem, and it's bloody nice. It's a lot of additional benefits for our community outside of the revenue streams attached to the project development. And we can attach the Alchemist name, right, to this brainchild, because you got to recognize when something is good, when somebody knows what they're talking about, right? And when they're putting in the effort and you know that they can execute what they're saying, right? You got to acknowledge that, man. And I acknowledge it. I see these boys know what they do. You with me? And the Alchemists will back it because we get exposure. Our ecosystem gets exposure to this. So on the 12th of April, I stand corrected. I must just check on the events calendar, but we've got an AMA with it to showcase that. And we're going to be investing for our community, into the property development aspect and give them exposure to that.
Very cool. Another diversification strategy into real world assets. Couple quick questions. What countries are you looking to get properties in?
Yeah. So it's in Thailand, it's in Costa Rica, and it's in Texas, man. Those are the three. So it's okay. So I'm giving a bit of alpha. It's 3 properties, right?
Okay.
It's 3 properties. They've got X amount of raise that they need to do to execute this, right? We're coming in with a small portion, but we'll have ownership across all 3, right? Because it's part of the seed funding, and then they're going to scale this. We're going to be having a share with them scaling. So for the first 3, Thailand, Costa Rica, and what's the other one? Texas. And they've got experience in Thailand, right? They know the shortcomings because they've got property there already, right? So these are exciting. They've got the right architects. They got the right people. I've seen it. I've checked the business model out. I've had my team look at it. They like it. And we're showcasing it to the community because we're telling them, guys, this is what we're going to now be introducing into our phase 2. I hope you like it, right? And I'm certain we're going to get positive feedback because we're giving them exposure to something they wouldn't be able to get exposure to.
Now, will this be, according to your white paper, commercial rental properties?
In a way, yes. So we can say that there's no families that we would have to, or that the company that we're investing in would have to, physically remove them. It's a business model. It's a pod of some sorts. But that's the reason why. That's the reason why we don't want to buy apartments. We don't want to buy houses because what if they can't pay their rent? What do you do,
That's
mate?
a huge risk to residential rental markets. I mean, I don't want to, especially single family dwelling units that you got one revenue stream that's at risk. No way. Multi-tenant, maybe apartments I might mess with, but like, yeah, I would hire a property manager to kick those people out if they weren't paying. I don't want to do that myself. Screw that.
That's the thing. Yeah. I don't want to be in that field.
Nah.
I don't want to do that. We've got people within our community who's actually, they asked a question in Discord not too long ago and said, one of our VIP members, well, when are we getting into property? Just out of the blue. And we said, listen here, phase 2. And he's got 20 rental properties spread across America. So when we get that type of, when we get our gold capital injections, all right, who do you think we're going to be working with? Who do you think we're going to be talking to? We're not experts in it. We don't profess to have experts in that field. We're going to attach ourselves with people that are doing it, that have the experience.
Now, how would you tie legally like the NFTs to a property? Have you guys figured that out yet, or?
So not yet in terms of the property. The gold mine acquisitions, yes, we have figured that aspect out. The property, not. How to tie that in with, but I can only imagine it to be in a similar way. But we would have to. Now, this I'm talking purely at the top of my head. I would imagine that we need to create a trust or an LLC, right? And in that LLC, have X tokens according to the percentage in that LLC, and that's how it will work. And that LLC will hold the shares of that property development. It's simple, yeah. But we'd get legal advice in terms, and which we are getting legal advice for, especially on the mining sector side of things, to tie things in legally. So yeah, that's exciting things, man. Alex, that's exciting parts. Yeah, that's exciting because
what's your timeline looking like? If you had to guess for that part of the project.
So when we went phase two at the end of April, their raise, we need to give an LOI and a form of commitment by the 21st of April. All right.
Oh, wow.
That's why we're getting them in early to showcase it to the community, get the community on board, say, guys, this is what you're doing. We like it, fantastic. All right. LOI, and we mint our phase 2, and when the funds are ready, we put it to use. We don't want to sit on the funds. We put it to use.
All right. So what's your timeline looking like for this? You said the 21st of April, you have to give a letter of intent. So what can we expect?
Yeah, so we have to give a letter of intent, and during our mint, we'll obviously then place those funds towards that revenue stream. At the same time, their projections are 20% ROI, right, per annum, but they've got other revenue streams attached to these properties. So they're only working on, right, the what was it, the occupancy rate, right, of these properties, and also they've dropped the projections on the occupancy rate. Even though within the sector or the vicinity that these properties are located, the occupancy rates are much, much higher. I like that, right? So they've dropped the occupancy rate. They've calculated only on that, excluding the other revenue streams that they will showcase, right? And 20%, I think that's a very good ROI. And remember, the properties will obviously increase in value because they purchased in very good areas. So
yes,
they'll increase in value. This is what we've got. This is the ownership. This is the exposure. We're able to get it in phase 2. After 1,000 NFTs have sold, we're going on for 2,000. And this is everything that we're already incorporating into this ecosystem to just lay the foundations. Alex.
All right. Sounds good. Property investments coming soon. And anything else that we didn't talk about yet in terms of how this works?
I think we've touched on all the important bits. If guys want to know more, open a ticket, tag me in Discord, tag my team in Discord. We're there, mate. We're there. If I'm not there, they will make sure that I attend to that question eventually when I do come online. So nothing goes unanswered, especially if they're unsure, right? They make sure that it gets dealt with. But get involved with the community. A lot of people are not about the community building. They're only about putting their money, making it work for them. That's fine too. But for those that are interested in being part of a community that we're building that as well, right? Because it's about decentralization. You need a community. You with me? You want to bring awareness. You need a community, right? You want to champion certain things that are good for Web3. You need a community. Your voice is only as loud as your community. So we're building all of these things. It's all taking place, Alex, and we invite, even if you're not going to be involved or put your money into the project, come and join us. Come have fun. Play chess with us. Play poker with us. We've got activities. We keep, we keep the spirit alive, because what we're building is more than just passive income. We're building a movement here, I believe. And, when those two roads meet, I hope to see you with us, because our plans, as Alex has heard, in terms of what we want to do with the legal aspect of things and tying things in, what our early holders stand to gain from us doing that, all right? And you need to think out of the box, because I'm not going to say it out loud, all right? Mm-hmm. But you need to think out of the box in terms of what opportunities that can bring and surrounding that digital collectible NFT that holds tangible value into what we're building.
I totally agree. And that is one of the reasons I love this job. I get to interview entrepreneurs, software developers, thought leaders in the space, and really so many are blazing this path right now, trying to figure out how this Web3, how these digital assets, how this blockchain technology ties in with legal frameworks, ownership of assets, gamification of different things. And it's just, it's one big, awesome entrepreneurial experiment. And when there are real people behind the wheel that have earnest intentions to make something cool, to build something awesome, then it's a lot of fun for me when I see something like this kind of coming together. I'm excited to see how you figure out, and overcome these different obstacles to build this thing, the Alchemists. It's really cool.
Yeah, the obstacles that are in your mind, the solutions are there. It's about us exploring the best option to provide for our community. So the options are there. Yeah, it's an exciting journey, Alex. It's tiring. Listen here, don't get me wrong.
Oh, I see the sun rising up. I see the sun rising behind you. My bad, bro. I don't know if I warned you. My AMA process takes a while.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Geez. Much love.
And I hate to do this to you, but before I let you go, I gotta ask you some due diligence questions. All right.
Okay.
Don't hate me, bro. I know it's I know it's Ramadan and everything too, so you're probably hungry and thirsty on top of being tired. You're a champ. All right. I'll give that to you, man.
Go for it, mate. Go for it. I am really tired, but I'm happy to go through this process with you, Alex.
I appreciate that. And if you guys can't tell, I've spent a lot of time talking with Tahir, and we have good rapport. We're on a friendship basis. So if I seem like very friendly and positive about this whole thing, that's why. I'm still going to be objective though in my due diligence.
You must be.
So Here we go. Have you worked on any other projects before this?
No.
Okay.
Web3 projects.
Got it. All right. And who else is on the core team? And what countries is everybody from?
Gee whiz, you should have asked that question when everybody was here.
You got a big team.
Yeah. So Bobby's from the Netherlands. Benita is South African, but she's all over the globe. AJ's from India. Yasin, I'm not sure if I mentioned him, is from South Africa. I'm from South Africa. You've got Al Qasim, that is from Canada. You've got Tingiko, TK, he's from South Africa. You've got Abdullah, he's from the UK. You've got Bobby Serin, who's from the UK. You've got obviously our head moderators there, Kata and Jonas from America, France. And then, I think I've touched on everybody in the white paper, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
All right. And who has control over the smart contracts and the wallets or bank accounts with the funds?
Yeah.
Who's accountable for all that?
I'm accountable for that. I do. Okay. Phase 2, we will be utilizing a multi-sig, right? But these phase 1 funds went boom, 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 all into our processes that need to be. suspect, not I know that phase 2 will go exactly the same. We're going to use it to build. So I've got full control. I've got access to the smart contract. I need to sign. Nothing else can happen without my signature. And there is a backup for if it, like a bus hits me, God forbid. Right?
That's one of my questions. Yeah.
Yeah. There is a backup. So our team, one of our team members, I won't say who, knows where X, Y, and Z is located and who has got it, right? So that things can flow. Yeah.
Okay, good. So you have a continuity plan, and you are fully doxed, correct? Are you KYC'd or publicly fully doxed?
I am fully doxed. I don't know about the KYC part. I mean, KYC is what? My LinkedIn, my Facebook. What else? When is that? How old is that? LinkedIn is quite old.
I don't know.
So
but,
yeah,
you are public. You can Google Tahir Smith. You've got this stuff here. I have looked into some of these companies, by the way, and verified that you are actually part of them as well. So
yeah.
For what that's worth, I don't know about company registration processes in South Africa, but they exist for these companies, and Tahir is director on many of them. So
KYC, the KYC aspect, I think more came from people that didn't want to be doxed, so they went through a KYC process, so they get the badge. They're anonymous in Web3, but they KYC this form of. But I'm fully doxed. You know what I mean? So is the rest of my team, except Shadow. Oh, Shadow. Shadow's from Romania. Shadow.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that, but anyhow, he's mentioned it. Yeah, he's from Romania, and he's our Web3 analyst. He takes care of all our Web3 alpha calls. He takes care of all our, making sure that when we do collaborations, we're partnering with ecosystems that are sustainable, that are not out there for a pump and dump. If they're out there for a pump and dump, he lets the guys know, listen, here's a pump and dump. You get in, you get out early. You know what I mean? So if those come across, that's his attitude.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the main takeaway, I guess, in all of this is you are accountable for all the funds, at least for this phase. Phase 2, there will be a multi-sig. Who's going to be on that multi-sig when you implement it?
Yeah, myself and Yasin will be on the multi-sig when I implement that.
And is Yasin KYC'd or fully doxed?
Yasin is fully doxed.
It's fully doxed. Okay.
He was. I think he was on. Yeah. Yasin joined us on this call.
Oh yeah,
so
he was here.
Yasin, you've seen Yasin too. And if you checked out the documents, the company, Yasin is on the company doc. Yeah,
he is. So, yes, I also saw him on the company registrations. Good, cool. All right. So who is developing your smart contracts?
I'm actually employed a Nova Technologies. I think that's the name. I must double check, right? Singaporean and Indian team based. They're actually building out we're doing a marketplace, right? The reason that we're doing a marketplace is there's going to be some nifty features. Okay, so what we're looking to do is when there are unclaimed rewards, okay, we want to showcase those unclaimed rewards on the marketplace. So when people are selling the NFT, right? When they go in, you can see, hey, this is how much that's unclaimed from this NFT. So you can purchase that, and you can go and claim that. So we're looking to develop that, as well as the DApp. They're developing that, and the smart contracts for our min page. They are developing that because we're doing a new one, and it will be audited by another dev. We'd actually we could even possibly have Alphashares audited, but we've got another dev that can do the audit for us. So yeah.
Okay. The other dev doing this audit, are you allowed to say their name or company?
He's fully doxed. We actually the other dev, I forget what's his name. I forgot his name, but he's fully KYC'd with there's a subscription service, a company that provides devs that are KYC'd. So we went through that protocol to actually get his services, and he helped us figure out the challenges that we had with our phase 1 mint contract, right? He assisted us with those challenges, and he's well sought after, to be honest with you. He's actually full-time employed in Web3. He's earning very, very good dollars we couldn't match, okay? But he has said, listen, he will audit our smart contract for us.
Cool.
So that's a plus. But yeah, fully KYC with a free flow. That's the company we went through. I'm not sure if you know about free flow.
Nope. I will. Good to know though. So when your smart contracts are coming out, they will be audited though and be checked. Make sure there's no exploits or anything like that. All right. Awesome. And do you think your project would survive if the bear market continues for another year or two?
Listen, we sold out our phase 1 mint in the middle of a bear, right? Our project will actually will thrive because it will provide an ecosystem that is actually rewarding their holders in a bear market, because we're not putting all our chips in on crypto. We're outside of crypto. We're so well diversified that the bear market can carry on for as long as the bear wants, right? We're not planning for the bull. The bull comes, great. You know what I mean? That's a benefit to our to our holders, because listen, we're going to be marketing, we're going to be updating with guys like you, Alex, telling you about our achievements, your new followers, the guys that sat on the sidelines. They're going to see, oh shit, this is what these guys have actually done since last we've chatted. And those type of people want to come into this ecosystem when it's already set up. You with me? And so bear, bull, doesn't matter to us. We're creating value, and we are, it is what it is, mate.
I think you've diversified your revenue streams well to be able to operate and generate revenue either way. Your biggest exposure would be the Bitcoin mining, I think, and the altcoins, but you're actually leveraging the bear market to position yourselves for those. You're not relying on those to survive.
Well said. I couldn't have said it better. Correct.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I'm just rephrasing what you're saying. That's all I do. I'm like Chat GPT, bro. Like Chat GPT with a soul. I'm gonna wait for Chat GPT to watch this video and be like, but I have a soul. Anyway, things are getting weird with AI. I won't go there.
I've got my comment too, but
we'll save that for another talk. I'll invite you on my talk show. I'm starting up a new talk show. I'll invite you on there and we could talk about not the project or any of that stuff, but we could talk about these other things that are so interesting that I don't get to talk about on these interviews that much.
I'd enjoy that, Alex. I'd enjoy that. All right. You let me know.
A couple more questions. What do you think is the biggest risk to participants in your project? What do you think?
And I've said this and I'll say it before because it rings true, right? The biggest risk is that the team, myself, loses the passion to continue to build.
I heard you say that before.
Because that's the biggest risk. And I don't believe that to be too much of, I don't believe it to be a higher risk, that probability happening, right? Because we've set this ecosystem up as such that we win when this ecosystem wins, right? So we're driven not only by creating value, right, but also creating value for ourselves. Yeah. So and I have fun with this. I enjoy this. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy having people jolly, happy. You with me? All of those things. And that's what we do. And that energy feeds off that energy and we create that. So that's the biggest risk, Alex, because we're so well diversified. You've heard, the guys have heard what we're busy with on the gold mine acquisitions and the potential there. The gold trading aspect to it is there. The Bitcoin, we've already got funds in the Bitcoin aspect. We're going to have funds in property. We're going to have funds in altcoins. We're going to have funds in the other revenue streams that Benita is excited to open, but at the right time. Yeah. So there's all of these things around us. Stuff to say. Oh, Forex. I haven't touched on the Forex side of things. There's so many things that surrounds us. It's our drive and our passion that needs to remain there. And and my community, it gives me that, man. It gives me that. I'm gonna meet these people. We've already spoken about it a lot of times, even so early on. It's because I'm looking forward to it. I'm seriously looking forward to it.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, cool. So the biggest risk you think is if you were to lose, you or your team were to lose motivation on building this grand vision. You guys are already pretty far into it, more so than I see a lot of projects even get to. You've raised a lot of money. You've already put a lot of it to work, and I have talked with some of your partners behind the scenes, even before this call, and you guys got big things in the works, and it's very exciting stuff. So yeah, don't lose motivation, man. If you ever need a pep talk, I know you guys have mental health coaches available for your holders, but if you ever need a motivational talk from all YaBonks here, I got you, bro. So.
Thanks, mate. Mentioning the mental health, I was actually there's somebody that we had a meeting set up because I want to introduce the mental health aspect already early on in this ecosystem. But yeah, we will be getting that aspect live. It's not live yet, and there are people that we are geared to speak to because not for me, I'll drive myself mad and sane at the same time. But for people that need somebody to listen to and talk in private, we want that part of this ecosystem. I can't be everywhere.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I offer myself. I tell everybody to send me messages, DM me whenever. But I get like hundreds and some days thousands of messages across all these platforms I'm on. Yeah. It takes me like sometimes 8 to 12 hours a day to just respond to messages. It's so absurd. I don't even know what to do at this point. I really don't know what to do. So I focus in on like super high priority ones first, friends, business propositions. I try to nail those out and then just start slogging through it. Some days are better than others, and I don't want to outsource that because that seems just impersonal, right? But that's cool. You've got mental health coaches available in your community. I actually might steal that idea from you in the YaBonks Discord server community. Just fine. That's a great idea.
Empowered. Listen, I wouldn't mind. We're looking for someone. So if you can find someone, we can leverage. And I'm being straight up with you. We can leverage the ecosystems to utilize because it's a job creation, all right? And at the same time, we're providing a service. It's not about ideas. It's in actual fact providing help to people that need it, that are too shy to ask for it. It's there, fingertips, boom.
Awesome. I'll be in touch with you about that. All right. So other big overarching question. All right, Tahir, what do you think is the best strategy for participants in your project?
So the best strategy right now is going to cost you quite a bit, okay? Because getting in from our VIP passes, okay, that's trading over $1,000 right now, and they're minted for $50, okay?
Oh my goodness.
So the next best thing is to get a phase 1 NFT, right? Phase 2 and a phase 3, because that full set, okay, will open up something else later on, okay? So that full set, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 will open up something else later on. So
quick question, does phase 1, 2, and 3, do they all get exposure to all of these things, and do they get them equally?
So what we've done, right? And I'm thinking, I thought this out loud. That doesn't make sense, but also it does make sense. So phase 1, we've given all the Alphashares investment that we've done now, right? We've allocated that directly to phase 1, okay? Mm-hmm. But we're also going to do that with phase 2. So they're basically even out, okay? So phase 2 NFT, you attached also to that Alphashares investment, okay? We could do something more here, and we could do something more here. But that's the greatness about our ecosystem, that it's segmented like that we could play around and create added value whenever and however we choose, right? So that's why the best strategy is to create phase 1 is to get all 3, but all 3 will have exposure to the Bitcoin mining, will have exposure to the property, will have exposure to the gold. So it takes nothing away from you, okay? But what we will be doing is adding value.
Okay, so if there are 5,000 NFTs total, and I have one of these, and I'm getting 1% a month, just making up numbers. Let's say 5% a month, just because let's be generous or something. I don't know. 5% per month. Let's say you mint out your next batch. Do I get diluted or
no? What do you mean you get diluted? No.
So those 5,000 NFTs, do they all? If you've got like $1 million of capital at work, does that $1 million go to each NFT equally?
Yeah. So look, I can't say that exactly because we've got these different wallets, right? So you've got the OG wallet, you've got the VIP wallet. But yes, each NFT that compromises of the 5,000 will take exactly the same rewards from across the board. There is no difference. The only difference is when we can add in something for these different phases, which we will do, all right? And then also if you're an OG, also if you got the VIP pass, okay? And that's there where it differentiates.
All right, everybody, I got it.
Yeah, equal footing.
Okay, so all 5,000 NFTs get the same rewards. If you have a OG or VIP wallet, you get some additional stuff. If you have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, you get another bonus for having the whole set. And so your recommendation for new people is if they got some money to spend, get the VIP if they can, and all 3. And if they don't, get all 3. Right?
The VIP is a bit, it's pricey right now. Look, I know where that's gonna go. Right? The VIP for $50. I remind you, for $50 we minted that VIP. Okay,
right?
It's trading over $1,000. Okay, the community makes deals inside if they need some liquid cash. You know, they're making deals inside our P2P trade channel. But we know the value where that's gonna. So yes, I would say you want to position yourself, want to play. That is where you start on the top of the range, right? And then all the rest of it is going to still give you exposure to everything. But the VIP just unlocks another wallet, right?
Okay.
And you'll see if you look through the white paper where the VIPs unlock into the gold. We've also given Forex Trading capital exclusively for the VIPs, right? We also for our OGs, and we've only got 30 OGs. So we're going to be, for phase 2, we're going to up that number to 50. We're going to have rewards and activities to access the OGs. So we're keeping it. As we're expanding, as we're growing, right? We keep that OGs there because it's value. 100 OGs, only 100 OGs. So even if we created a wallet with, what, 3,000, imagine a wallet gets $3,000 a month, $2,000 a month. Just do the numbers. For 100, that's what you're getting. You with me? That's in your pocket. So we've created and segmented it as such because we can play around with it and create these value pools and pockets within our ecosystem. It's super fun.
So that's awesome. All right, so that sounds super cool to me. If I were to try to get the whole set and I went back to get a tier 1 NFT on OpenSea, I try to buy one on the secondary market. Is there a royalty that I would pay to acquire that?
Yes, so there's, if I'm not mistaken, it's a 7% royalty fee, but it's optional now on OpenSea. So you can choose to pay the royalty or not for now, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and listen, we're not saying pay the royalty. You pay it if you want to. Okay, we generating revenue streams here. We're not a PFP relying on all this royalty. You must pay it, or block this one, or block that one. But yeah, you can go pay it on. You can either pay that on OpenSea, and in our own marketplace, you know, there'll be no 2.5% charge, but there will be a royalty fee. But this is where you can, So OpenSea is where you can get it. NFT traders where you can get it as well. But I'm more excited about our own marketplace because, get away from all these guys that are trying to control the market and tell us how to trade, where to trade.
Yeah, it's DeFi. Come on, we gotta have options, right?
Yep.
So a couple other things real quick. You are also planting trees. I know this is a big bonus for a lot of people in Web3. There are a lot of projects that people like that plant trees along the way. Are you guys you guys are working with One Tree Planted, right?
OneTree.org. I was asked on the other AMA. I still need to pay them, right? So I'm going to pay OneTree.org tomorrow. I've actually emailed them, right? Because we just want to pay, dude. You with me? They got all these options. Choose the. So I need to go through the process. I have actually contacted them recently, and yeah, we're gonna be planting 1,000 trees at the drop of a hat. So I'll give you my what's tomorrow. I'll give you my commitment. We'll do that by tomorrow. Done, and I'll drop you a message.
All right. So by the time this video gets posted, which will be a couple days after this is recorded, that should have already happened. So you guys go. Make sure Tahir keeps his word on the one tree planted donation, and it's for every NFT minted. You guys will plant one tree, so that'll be 5,000 trees total for the entire mint, and then you're going to plant a minimum of 1,000 trees annually, and we'll request the community wallet via voting to match you.
Yeah, if they want, and it's cheap. It's not expensive. It's very, very cheap. So, and we're doing something good at the same time. You know what I mean?
Awesome. Yeah, and I wanted to make sure I got that in there because a lot of people in my community are part of some other projects that are really big on that, and they are in it just because of that. So they'll love hearing that every NFT, a tree is planted.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So a lot of other social charitable programs that you and Quindo investment group are doing. Really cool. Everybody watching, keep an eye out on that stuff. Where do you see this in 6 months, 1 year, 5 years? Where do you see this in the future, Tahir?
I see it as an ecosystem that can't be rivaled, to be very honest with you. You know, you said I'm bullish. I am bullish because I'm fully aware of the value that we're creating here. So but at the same time, you know, when I say bullish, we won't be here to bully. We'll be able to assist other ecosystems to also come up, assist them through genuine builders, genuine guys that are looking to deliver value. But yeah, in 6 months' time, I know we can be on a big moonshot, right? It all depends how things move, how quickly they move, how quickly we get our legals in order, how quickly we unearth and get our geo reports, you know. So that could happen, and beneath the shade, some alpha could happen sooner than later. But yeah, where do I see this? I see us going from strength to strength, my friend. Strength to strength. And yeah, I would like to set it up in future to be decentralized in a very strategic way. It would still need to have some form of centralization, right? But have the decentralized aspect into it, where you have the centralized part executing the vision of the decentralized structure that we put in place. But that there is, again, it's a brainchild. It needs to be developed. It needs to be constructed. It's a grand vision. And yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there, my friend.
I look forward to following your updates. This is a super ambitious project. You have a very impressive team. Personally, that's what I think.
Thank you.
Everybody,
Alex,
make your own opinions on all this stuff. Do your own research. Do your own due diligence. Check out their white paper and their Discord and their other AMAs. Check out Benita. As far as I'm concerned, she's the real deal. After talking with her for a few hours, like, I don't think you could hire a paid actor to say or know or feel what she did, right? Like, because people will be like, oh, everything's a charade in DeFi, but like, you can't fake that. You can that would be nuts. So
and Yakub, we don't forget to mention Yakub.
I didn't talk with him as long. I only talked with him probably for an hour before our call. But Yakub's a cool dude. If you're listening, Yakub, you're a cool cat. You're super smart. We should talk again.
Yeah, he gave you some alpha in terms of what he's doing on the ground, what is happening. Yeah.
And I can't talk about that stuff, even though I didn't sign anything yet. I don't want to put you guys in hot water legally. So Yakub, cool dude. Benita, super cool lady. And you're a cool dude too, Tahir. We'll catch up later. One other thing.
Yes.
Do you have any estimates or projections about how one of these NFTs would reward users in the bear market or the bull market? Do you have any guesses?
Yeah, so so we've done some projections, right? We actually were requested by the community to put something together. I can't remember what that was. It is in the Discord because we're not focused on that. We focused on creating the value, and that would be the natural outcome, right? But if I'm not mistaken, it was between $30 and $40. But that was excluding the Bitcoin mining that was excluding the property investments, that was excluding the altcoin investments, that was only solely on gold and the Forex trading, right? I anticipate, I think that's reasonable. I don't think it's unreasonable. But I stand corrected. I don't know. I can't remember the figures.
That's crazy. I mean, that's wild to me. So, I mean, just DeFi though, and that's for DeFi. That's actually kind of conservative, as nuts as that sounds. But like a $400 NFT, if I were to buy it at the mint, you're saying potentially 40 or 50 bucks. Right. Is that a month or year?
Can a month? Can I ask you?
That's great. I love it.
Can I ask you something? Or can I? What protocols are paying out? I know one. All right, one. Okay. The others are all tied in, yes, to the mining projects will eventually pay out. Yeah. Okay, but I can't. I was struggling to find everything else. You need to be wary of because they pump and they dump. They wash the money down into the system, so more money comes in, right? And then they wash it down, and more money comes in. So
you gotta know what kind of project you're getting into. Is this a long-term project, or is this a short-term super Degen DeFi play? Get in, get out with a couple of percent. Try not to lose your entire bag kind of play. Yeah. So we're creating more of a sustainable ecosystem where we're not promising you any figures. We're not saying at the end of the year your NFT is gonna earn $1,000, 12, X amount of. We're gonna create the value. The value will decide that, right? Yeah. What we're building here is creating value, and I see us rivaling, if not I see us doing pretty good. Let me not say rivaling. Let me just say I just see us doing pretty well. People will be proud to be in the ecosystem. They'll be happy, and that's what our objectives are. Awesome. Great. All right. So no, you're not guaranteeing any kind of returns or anything like that. But if you guys execute according to the plan, things could be looking good. Lucrative. Right. Yeah, it could be lucrative. Cool, man.
Yeah, that's why we want people with an open mind. When they look at the value proposition, they see, okay, this is what these guys are building. This is what they're putting together. It's only 5,000 NFTs. This is the value they're going to create. And what else? Because this is only the foundations that we're laying. So I leave that. We're looking for people with that think like that because they can understand the value, and we've got that in our phase one. Boom, we got people that understand or are switched on. So yeah, we're looking for that throughout our build because then we'll have a very intelligent bunch and a strong group to win with.
Awesome. Well, I hope I get I am digging myself out of some credit card debt right now because of some goat surgery things and all this other stuff on the sanctuary. But if by the time Mint 2 starts, I've got $400 or something together, I would like to pick one of these up just to have them in my wallet, in my portfolio. I've got a few different wallets with different mining projects, and yours is really interesting because it's not just mining. It's got that piece, but it's also got all this other stuff that I would like exposure to, especially if it's done with really thoughtful considerations on ethics, especially when you're dealing with gold in Africa. Right, or any kind of commodities there. So
100%.
I would love exposure to that side of things if it's done really, really well and really conscientiously, if that makes sense.
Yeah. We'll welcome you with open arms, Alex. 100%. Awesome.
Well, thanks, man. That's all I got. Do you have anything else you want to say today? To hear?
No, mate. It is 3 a.m. I am happily exiting.
Well, hey, thanks for taking so much time with you. I know we've been on the video call for over 6 hours now. So
yeah. So what is key is that we got our whitelist form out, right, Alex? It's important that guys that would like to be involved in the project, you've got that form, share it with them, and come into our Discord, claim their role, be on the whitelist, help us grow this ecosystem, right? Build this thing out, and that's it.
Are you okay with me putting the Google Docs link to that whitelist form in the description of this video?
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Of course.
Well, you heard the man over here. I will put all the links to the socials, the website, and the whitelist form in the description of this video. Go check out the Alchemists at alchemistsnft.com. Also on Discord at discord.gg/alchemistsnft. Tahir, thank you so much for all your time and your team as well. My audience, I think, will really get a kick out of learning about this project. And yeah. So everybody, thanks for watching. If you liked this AMA and you want more content like this, like the video, subscribe to the YaBonks show, and join me in my Discord at discord.gg/YaBonks. And again, check out alchemistsnft.com. Tahir, thanks so much. Everybody, thanks for your time and attention. I'll catch you later. Bye.
Cheers.